And obviously I'm looking around Twitter, and yes, I know I am live. Um, and I see GTA 5 6 is trending again. God damn it. But hello. This
Hello.
is the Fox Den episode 4, Spooktober. Currently only with Storm. The others might show up, hopefully. Um,
We can but hope.
mhm. Well, Azriel's seen it, so seen that I've posted it live.
Don't forget, it's Thursday, bingo night.
Yeah, but he said it'd be on.
I know he did. So I don't know why he's not.
Um, so just waiting for the notifications and all to see I'm live, and then we'll properly start. So if you want to if you want to make sure this is the skin you're going for, do so now and forever hold your peace.
No, I'm sticking with this. I forgot I liked this
Also,
skin. This was my...
also, I love it how like I haven't played. This is not horror related at all, but I love it how I have not played Rogue Company, and yet they've sent me an email being like, "We miss you." And I'm like, bruh, what game company does that? It's like, oh, we missed you. We want you to play more. It's like,
I'm watching the podcast on my phone, and all I see is me going up, down, up, down, up, down.
Well, I'll move the camera slightly to the left, so we got a better view. I've also turned these down so they're no longer bright as fuck.
Yeah, I know, we kept getting flashbangs last time.
Although I should have changed them to like, I should have changed the fire. If I have to back out the main game to let everyone in, I will quickly change the fire to like greenish on the flame ones, and maybe like
It's the bluey ice fire you've got, isn't it? That one.
no, that's just orange.
I thought they came in blue as well.
Yeah, you can change the color completely.
Oh, I didn't know.
So they
Oh,
were
very nice.
white. When I got them, they were white, so I changed them to blue. No,
Ah,
not blue,
very
orange.
nice.
Um. So yeah. Now that it's properly live, what we can do is we can go on with it. Um. And then just when they join, just ask for
Switch
their
over to
insights.
party. Aye.
Well,
That works.
because it's I think my because if I'm correct, my brother and only Azrael are coming. My other friend can't make it. He said that
Alright.
he has a party, but I've messaged him being like, "Hey, we're about to start and all that."
I love how I sleep in all day and I still make it. Just saying. I sleep in until just before 6 and I still make it.
About right. That's fine.
We don't question.
At this point, I'm like not that bothered about it. If you don't make it, you don't make it.
Aye. I
But
think I've been quite consistent with making it to every podcast, though.
hmm, if you complain that you didn't make it, then that's on you. To be fair. Right. So, oh, they're on. They don't look as bad. Right. So, podcast is gonna be, well, as I said, all things Spooktober. So, horror games, horror films, just everything horror. And appropriately, we've went and dressed up as horror character, like, well, horror, not icons or anything, but just horror outfits.
Well, my girl kinda has a grudgy look about her.
She's also like undead.
It's kind of a bit of both.
No, like right now in Fortnite you can find her and she will attack you on sight.
Oh yeah, I know.
We also found the Nobi cabin when you went off.
Oh, that just.
Yeah, it's like next to the reality tree, and Ash Williams is in it, and he gives you a purple shotgun, and you can go
Oh,
into
very
the
nice.
fruit cellar, and there's like chests, but also like a zombie down there.
Ah, very nice.
It really is, to be fair.
I'm
Um,
getting a headache at the bobbing. I just stand like that.
you can always switch to emote.
True. I'm okay just standing now, actually. So, horror,
So yeah,
my sort of expertise.
yeah, and with it, obviously we've got like the big announcements from Konami with four Silent Hill games, including a remaster to Silent Hill 2, and three new IPs, as well as a TV show slash movie. Let me find them again.
Speaking of just horror games, though, there was one that came out is it last year or year before? I can't remember. And I never played it, and I really wish I had. It was called The Medium.
Apparently, it was awful.
Really?
Yeah, they're because they tried their main emphasis was like you see both realities at the same time, but they
Mm-hmm.
focused too much on that.
Oh. Mm.
Um, Although the Dark Tales anthology was really good. Like all
Dark
three,
Tales. What are
like
they? Are they? Is that
the Man
the?
and Medan, Little
Oh,
Hope,
the the
and
the the vampire one. One of them was a vampire related one.
I don't know. I've not really played them. I know
Oh.
the Quarry, the Until Dawn is like Wendigos in that, and then
Oh, yeah. That is the
the
reason that
Quarry.
Athena and that will not go on a ski lodge holiday with me. I keep trying to
Speak
get everyone to go on a ski lodge holiday, and they won't
speak
go.
Speaking of which, hi Athena.
Every time I try and get a ski lodge holiday assorted, they always get, no, we'll get murdered. Because apparently Until Dawn has that effect on people.
I mean, can you blame him?
I would happily befriend the Wendigos. I want a pet. And I'm not allowed a chupacabra, so.
Well, yeah. Um, yeah. So we have, and these are the four games with the movie. So we've got, as I said before, the Silent Hill 2 remake, which I've never got to play. But my brother, who I hoped would be on, but it's probably busy or on his way. Has played and is actually quite hyped about, and I'm like, I don't blame him. As I said, horror fans are eating good tonight. Um, Then we got Silent Hill F, which is set in Japan, made by a guy who's actually really, really good for their horror games, uh, films and shows and that. Silent Hill Ascension, which I don't know what that is, doesn't really give you much description, and Silent Hill Townfall, which again, I don't know. And then the TV show or film Return to Silent Hill was also announced. Um, so as I say, Silent Hill fans are like not only eating good, but so are like every horror fan. Um,
And now we welcome Azrael.
yeah, no, that's really
Hello. Oh, have you started the podcast?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh.
you're late.
I'm sorry. I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and then
Oh,
You're
something.
sort of
not a
excused,
finger.
but still.
You cannot bully me for watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Just get in.
I'm coming.
You
I'm
were excused, but
sorry.
still.
Be glad I'm not out painting.
Pa!
Aye.
Uh,
I'm not
so
going to say why I'm paying.
So as we were saying, we were talking about the Silent Hills announcements, ranging from the 4 games to their movie.
I've not
Um,
actually played any of the Silent Hills. It's quite a game that's never really jumped to me.
I haven't. I haven't either. That's I got bored and was watching like House of the Dead, and I found out they even made a arcade game, and I'm like, what? um, the only
House of the Dead's good.
Yeah, the only well, we can jump talk about that shortly, but the only like any like thought and theory of like Silent Hill when it comes to me is Dead by Daylight. Um,
It's just a house sitting in the middle of nowhere.
I know, don't have to fucking remind me. I've also made the lights dimmer, and if you go up top, there's now a change station.
Yeah.
If you need to change. So yeah, only thing I've really had is Silent Hill oriented is Dead by Daylight,
Mm.
which is probably like a lot of folk who've never touched Silent Hill. Um,
Well, the most I know about Silent Hill is the nurse, like the red nurse.
as in the skin.
Well, she was obviously she's in Dead by Daylight, but she's like a prominent character in one of the Silent Hill games, and she's also in in one of the movies.
Yeah. I think her name's Lisa Garland.
Yeah, that's it, Lisa Garland.
Because the Silent Hill 2 protagonist is actually a buyable skin for Cheryl. Who's and this is gonna really confuse you. So Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill as a whole, basically, like whenever you go in it, so I'm probably gonna get yelled at momentarily if my brother's watching because he's obviously seen all. Um, Silent Hill takes your fear, like much like the entity, it takes your like fears, your like everything, right, bad and dark, and makes it reality. In Silent Hill 2, the main protagonist and Pyramid Head are the same person. Pyramid Head in Silent Hill 2 represents the main characters like rage, lust, and basically everything bad about him. And the reason why there's a shit ton of undead nurses is because the again, I might be wrong about this, but I think the protagonist from that game's wife was a nurse before he killed her, which is why Pyramid Head exists in that game.
Pyramid Head's a big. He's just manifestation of
Malice.
fears, isn't he?
Uh,
Yeah, but
the three emotions.
he's more like the executioner because he
Mm.
shows up in multiple Silent Hills, but he's just mainly the executioner, like of Silent Hill.
I don't know much myself. All I know is there was a nurse in it, and every time there's a nurse in the game, I like it.
Well, obviously, yeah, they murder, yeah, they murder a few nurses, but yeah,
I mean, the ones with the bandages around their face, yes.
yeah, and other horror games. Before we jump on to like well, let's just talk about horror games in the whole. Actually, I was gonna see before we jump onto like the new ones that our fans are gonna be like numbing the heck out of because, and I'm just gonna say it again, they are eating good. Like, if you enjoy horror games, just wait because you got the Dead Space remake, Callisto Protocol, which is made by Dead Space devs, Resident Evil Village, the Winter's expansion, Resident Evil 4, potentially more Resident Evil stuff because the showcase is live like today at 11 o'clock. I'm not waiting that long.
The one thing I'm looking forward to about Resident Evil Village, Throwing dressing tables at people.
You gotta build up a
Uh,
thing for that, but even then, you know they've made her small. They've actually lowered her height to make her like accessible.
Yes, but you
'cause
you can still throw dressing tables at folk.
Oh yeah, but like it's pissed off a few fans because of the fact they're like, yeah, we had to shrink her down. The playable version is smaller. And I'm
I
like, that's fine.
that's what that's what I thought was the funniest thing ever,
Yeah.
because they're bringing out the VR thing that you can play, that you can interact with. That is only going to be used by teenage boys and creeps.
I mean, you're right about one of those.
Have you not seen half the mods for the game already? Trust me.
I know it's an interactive fucking player that is going to be used and not for gaming.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, as we're saying, gonna be Winter's expansion. Then you got like you've also got two fan-made Resident Evil games coming out. You've got Resident Evil. Um. Code Veronica remake that fans are making, and Resident Evil Outbreak. Um.
Wasn't there no already in Resident Evil Outbreak?
Yes, but they're remaking. Fans are remaking it
Right.
using the RE engine, which I'll still say, and I've said plenty of times. That game and File 2 even came out way too late, early. If that was out Xbox 360 time, fans would have ate that up with the multiplayer component.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, looking back as well, which is what I was gonna go to before we start talking more about the games. Um, like there's been a whole variety of good horror games. Like obviously Resident Evil being the big one, Dead Space, like the trilogy apart from 3. 3 turned into a shooter.
Technically, Dead Rising is also a horror game in a way. It's a funny horror game.
Yeah,
uh,
that's what the devs wanted. Because there's actually a story behind Dead Rising 4 and what was supposed to be Dead Rising 5.
I'm guessing we'll never get a Dead Rising 5.
Um, we were
you
meant
never
to.
know.
Well, the
Uh,
company, the developers that were working on the Dead Rising games have now shut down
Mm.
yeah.
because what happened was the short story was they did not communicate with the head Capcom devs.
Mm.
So they tried to make for Dead Rising 4, they tried to make a Last of Us style game, like like stealth and horror, like survival horror and all that. And then when they showed what they had done with to the main heads of Capcom, they were not happy. And then Xbox came along and helped them make Dead Rising 4 with the whole which probably was a blessing. They had a lot of crunch and ran out of time though. That's why Frank sounds like an absolute dickhead in Dead Rising 4 than any of them. Um,
Uh,
I'll still always be annoyed though that 3 was an Xbox only game. I don't know why they did that.
oh,
because I mean Capcom and Xbox just love each other. But then again,
Mm.
Capcom also loved PlayStation because, mind, Xbox had Dead Rising, but PlayStation had Street Fighter and Resident
Mm.
Evil because they got Resident Evil stuff early before Xbox did, like the demos and all that. Um,
aye. Well, see, what Storm was saying there about Xbox only games. Did you hear that Xbox is taking another PlayStation exclusive game?
Which
God of
is
God of War is going to the Xbox.
gonna answer that. And I also doubt that would happen.
I hate the politics behind Xbox and PS. It's just bleh.
Yeah. I also doubt they'll make God of War come to Xbox. As they're saying, Halo is coming to PlayStation.
Probably.
As a fan of Halo, would
Embark.
would not mind it. Um, Generally would not mind
What
it.
what were you saying?
About what you said about God of War,
Aye,
which is not the topic of the day, but okay. Um,
I know.
I doubt it will happen.
No, but what I would put God of War in me like there's monsters in it. It's like in the theme of like
Well, not really the theme of
Halloweeny,
not really the theme of
but
horror though.
aye,
That's your
because
problem.
there's monsters and all the creatures and all that in the game. It's just no dark.
It's more mythological than it is horror.
Yeah, it's more of the yeah, that's what someone just said. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
mythological. Um, because like even though it's not really a horror game, you could technically put Vampire the Masquerade, Blood Hunt, and that in this
Mm.
aye,
category because
I mean,
it's still part of the dark like gothic fantasy.
mm.
aye.
But it's
well,
not
well,
really horror.
look at the game Hellblade. I can never say it. Senua's
Senua's
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice. That
That's a horror game,
that is psychological horror because
and
of
it's
all the
brilliant because the
yeah.
voices and it's weird when you play it with your headset and the voices are just whispering in your ear and it's like bleh. I have a few
No,
qualms with the game.
That's what
aye,
Only
captivated. That's
the
what
only
made the
qualm
game
I
like
really have with that game is there's no map, there's no nothing. You've got to kind of figure it out yourself.
yeah,
aye.
my friend recommended me that
That's
and I'm still yet to play it.
that's the same with Saints and Sinners. And that is like, right, you have to find this building, on you go. I'm not gonna tell you.
Aye, but
I'm only gonna tell you.
that's the bet that's the brilliant about the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
Aye.
Um
I ken that me and Storm was playing it when I was staying at his bit one week. And I couldn't get by the first mission. We couldn't find the building.
Correction, you couldn't find the building. I was sitting laughing at you.
None of us could find the building. We were just walking around killing zombies.
Not wrong with that.
uh, I does the next time when the PlayStation 5 brings out the VR system and all that, I cannot wait until I can go back on it because I really want to try something with a knife. You start singing a song and then see at like the beginning of the chorus, you throw the knife and try stab a zombie with it.
Plagiarism, that's
I,
TikTok I showed you, but anyway.
I, wait, is it the like one where he's talking about his shit his pants and he's like out the way?
No, it's a guy singing The Witch Doctor.
Oh,
Oh,
I, I,
the other thing was like I'm not gonna sing it obviously on stream, but like the one where like they've changed. It's like the staying alive, but like they changed it to be like shit in pants.
I,
The shit in pants.
oh, I have seen that one day.
Um, but no, I've seen my brother play the Walking Dead Saints Sinners, and I think he's looking forward to the new one. But obviously PSVR 2 is required, which
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of. The fact you have to buy a brand new PlayStation VR just to play like everything, and then anything you had on that VR, the other VR system, is not compatible.
Just when we're speaking of horror games for VR, Dead Until Dawn Rush of Blood.
From what I can remember, from what I can remember of hang on, my throat's a bit like. Cause that's a game I've not played, but I've heard.
Oh, same.
I'm
I've not played it, but I've heard.
I'm pretty sure I've heard that that's only a rail shooter. Like you're on a roller coaster just shooting like things, which yes, it is horror. But then you have like Arizona Sunshine, which is also like zombies and like free roam in a way, where you like go through the level with like limited ammo, killing zombies and that.
Mm.
Um, and then, I mean the big horror games, Five Nights at Freddy's, Help
Oh
Wanted.
yeah.
I'm currently staring at Athena's copy of Five Nights at Freddy's, being like, I need to download that for tomorrow because I'm planning a. I was originally planning doing a Five Night Friday, but because of how close to the end of October it is, I might just do like a couple of like a day of FNAF 1, a day of FNAF 2, but then Gotham Knights. 'Cause me and Athena wants to play Gotham Knights,
I
and then
think I did suggest this just for one day if we could get like 6 of us, and not until dawn. Bloody hell. Name, words, place, uh, robot, ship.
first place
Um,
trouble.
thank you. In a way, it's a horror because you're getting hunted down, but just saying.
Hmm.
I could. Oh my god, what is wrong with me? Why do I forget things so often?
That's fine.
I.
We will always love and remember and cherish the chainsaw instant.
The
um,
chainsaw instant. I know. Yes. At least I never. Well, I couldn't really think of anything for first class trouble. I was just like, dip, 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 dip.
I was just gonna message my brother. Said he will be on momentarily. Just giving the nephew a bath.
Uh,
Um,
and I am so happy. My Halloween costume came, and the mask looks absolutely brilliant and scary.
Also unrelated to horror, but this is kind of like a bit of a breaking news kind of thing. So you know the game Marvel's Midnight Suns?
I believe so.
Deadpool has taken over the Twitter. Deadpool is also trying to make himself in the game. And because of my brain being like, well, Deadpool's taking over Twitter. Deadpool Nolan North, by the way, not Ryan Reynolds. Which I think that's fine because they should, unless they're doing the Deadpool 3, and at some point they like, and then Deadpool 3 they give Ryan Reynolds Deadpool like the inner voice, and it's Nolan North. Please, to
uh,
fucking God. um, I'm
I mean,
bad.
it's unrelated. It's unrelated to horror, but the Deadpool game for Xbox and PS3 was mwah.
Too bad it got a shit ton of lawsuits.
I know, but it was so good because it was so comicky and just Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
that is the one thing I cannot wait. Take comes out the new Deadpool just so I can see Hugh Jackman in the yellow suit.
Yeah, that would be quite awesome.
Anyway, we
I
moved away from horror.
Yeah,
I just wanted to see
we're
him in it.
sidetracking again, but yeah. So like, shit ton of horror games. Evil Within is probably one of the top few like games, and I wish they made a third rather than Ghostwire Tokyo, but
If
I'll
I'm not
take it.
wrong, I'm pretty sure Evil Within had an extreme hard mode where you had one life,
Yeah, no, not one
and I
life, one hit.
one hit, and it was like impossible to complete.
Pretty sure it was like, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like It was Japanese for nightmare.
Aye, it was something like
Um,
that. Aye,
but then the
and it's
second
like
game, which had a bit more open world freedom to it, also eventually added a first person mode, so you can
except
experience the horror and like within Sebastian's eyes.
if I'm no wrong as well, it was like the completion percents for that extreme hard mode was like in the single digits.
Hmm. It's the same, and this again is going to be off topic, but it's the same for like Devil May Cry 5. Apparently, completing the game on Hell and Hell, which is like you die in one hit, everything else doesn't. You only have 3 lives. Good luck. um,
Aye.
I got to, but I honestly on Xbox, I'm like halfway through that as like the main characters, and like Mission 7 as the DLC character. Um,
I'll I'll go back. I'll jump back to a good horror game that's came out. I'm waiting for part 3 to come out. Poppy Playtime.
I've not played that.
Oh, it's good. I've watched the videos. They're so good.
yeah, but it's also the one of the most hated games on all existence.
Really? Why?
Let me just like sum up. NFTs, a
What
movie
is it?
that's literally when the first game came out. They made the first game you had to pay for, right? Then when the second one came out, made that free. So fans
Yeah.
were more than rightfully so pissed off. Um,
I do remember seeing a post somewhere, and it was like, "Huggy Wuggy is dangerous. You shouldn't let your kids be around it." And it's like, kids shouldn't be watching it in the first place.
Oh no, that's the thing. I was sitting watching streaming and that I watch a YouTuber that he done Huggy Wuggy stuff. No, I get tell don't watch that in front of my niece and nephew. It's too scary. They ken more about Huggy Wuggy than I do. It's like, yeah, I get tell don't to watch that in front of you. How are you watching it?
The internet is a magical place.
The internet is real.
See, I like the Poppy Playtime game because it's more like it doesn't really jump scare you until near the end, but it's good.
You should play the VR version there.
no.
Oh,
No.
no. The
I'm,
YouTube.
I mean,
The,
like I said, I'm staring at Five Nights at Freddy's because Athena gave me her like 1 4, including sister location, and I'm just thinking, oh, Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, and 3 won't be too bad because I can see the freaking bastards. 4, I have to hear them.
Oh, Thor's the one set in the bedroom, isn't it?
Yeah, and you have to
uh,
fucking hear them, and I'm like, I have to turn up the headphones. Ah.
I really want to play the security.
Security Breach.
Yeah, aye,
Security Breach is quite good, but again, no map. Well, there is a map, but there's no like waypoints.
aye.
It
I,
kind of works a bit though.
Mm.
I am raging that they've put it on in sale this far into the month because I can't get it until next week.
Sucks to suck.
Uh,
But yeah, like from other games, like obviously Dead Space 1 and 2, and but 3 technically, but 3 became more of a shooter. Those are fucking amazing. And then you also had the Dead Space, the Wii like rail shooter, and the little mini movie thing they did. And not to mention they are remaking not only remaking Dead Space 1, but bringing back the original voice actor for that for Isaac. Um, having like the zero G gravity mode that they had in Dead Space 3, I think, where you can like fly around and two, and a
uh,
shit ton of other things. And I've seen gameplay for the remake, and it looks so fucking good. And they even had a comparison video of like parts of the game and from like the Xbox 60 PS3 days to what it looks like now. And they have poured they have poured their heart into it. My only hope is that they continue to pour their heart into it. Like,
Uh,
why stop with Dead Space 1 remake and make a second, and then remake the third and make it actually good?
I've noticed that with games in that these days. It's like there is hardly any actual like new games coming out. It's all let's remaster this game and that game and
and
the bloody next game.
in all fairness, the Dead Space games are really fucking old.
Uh,
Last of Us and Horizon Zero Dawn are not that old, yet they're still well, supposedly Horizon Zero Dawn's getting a remake, but Last of Us it has, and I've just seen, supposedly they are thinking about teasing a Bloodborne remaster or upscaled port. Um, if they do that, that will like make people really, really happy, but I doubt it. But yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of new games. I mean, yes, Resident Evil 4 is another remake, but it's not a remaster. It's a full-on remake, though. To be fair.
uh,
The one thing that I remember about Dead Space is the eye surgery, and
Oh yeah.
the
Oh.
one little needle going into your eye. It was so good. And if you missed by even like a millimeter, rah, 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 rah.
No, not even that. If you did it too fast. I didn't know that
Did
as a
you?
kid when I kept doing it and kept dying. And then my brother told me to slow down. And I'm like, oh.
And then all you got was your eye gouged out, going. Rah, 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 rah.
Yep.
uh,
I
yeah, but
mean,
is it true in that they're bringing out a Final Destination game where you play as Death and you have to find a way to kill them?
no. Where did you hear that?
It was a
That would
thing
be
I
good
saw.
though.
No, it was
That
a
would be.
thing that I saw on TikTok and that when somebody was talking about that. No, this is not. They weren't confirming it and all that, but they said they heard that they're
Aye, but
making a Final Destination game.
right. So it's not for definite. So
Aye,
I'd keep an eye on it, but not hold your breath.
Hitman creators, get on it. You're good at that.
'cause I
Actually,
said that would.
I'm not being funny, but that would be dope. I mean, they're making a James Bond
Aye,
game. Did you
That's
know
what I'm
that?
saying. Hitman creators could do that.
I mean, did you know that they're making a James Bond game?
I did not.
Well, they are. They've announced they're making a James Bond game, and I'm actually glad because what better devs put behind the James Bond? I mean, heck, if they made a John Wick game, I'd be like, fuck yeah.
uh,
Um,
oh no, John Wick. Yes, that would be the brilliantest game ever.
well, there is a
I still
game.
need to download that Ghostbusters game actually.
Yeah, that was fun. But yes, there is already a John Wick game.
Is it?
Yeah. Look up in a podcast, John Wick Hex. It's not what you think before you like jump to conclusions. It's not like you go in as John Wick and shoot everything up. It's more in the case of you plan. Just like it's more of a strategy game where you like plan out and move within like it will make sense when you actually look at it. I tried playing it and I did enjoy it. I do want to play it again, but it was
All
hard.
right. Aye,
Uh,
aye. I see it. I see it now.
um, but it does have like um. Oh, I can't mind the fucking I can't mind the actual actor names. I know Lance Reddick, who plays the hotel manager, is in it, but I can't mind the other guy.
Ooh, just
Oh,
uh,
aye.
We'll get back to it. But as you're saying, so
sorry. I had a flashback into my head of a game that I remembered now. It's a horror game that looks so good. The Bloody Hell Hotel.
yeah, that's more. Yeah, that looks more like Stardew Valley meets vampires. I'm kind of down with it.
It looks really good though, because it doesn't look child. Well, I know Stardew Valley isn't exactly the most child friendly at times.
It's not child friendly at all.
No, it looks so dark and so good.
Oh yeah. Um. Although horror games, okay, they're not as bad. I just realized we're getting slightly flashbang, but not as bad as it was last time. Um. We got the big one, and when I mean big one, I mean the game that's become practically the horror verse of horror, Dead by Daylight. When you think about it, because it now has like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, the ghost face, even though they couldn't really take the actual character license, but they could take the mask apparently.
I
Um,
mean, technically they don't have the license for Myers either. They can't call him Myers. It's the shape.
but everyone else calls him Myers. And no, he's called. If you go in his bio, it says Michael Myers.
Oh right.
I think it was. Hey, Lewis, get you in here. It's gone quiet all of a sudden. My brother's joined. What? Why?
Here comes a new challenger. Yeah, I'm just joining the room.
I cannot wait for Street Fighter 6. Why have you said
Have
that?
you seen the latest thing? So apparently a bunch of hackers hacked into the beta so they could keep playing it. So Capcom has just completely deleted the beta from all hard drives as well to completely
Oh,
get rid of it, so people can
What
stop playing it.
what game's this?
Street Fighter
Street Fighter
6.
6.
Ah.
Look for the remarked podcast room.
I'm already in
By
your
the way.
thing. I just need to join it, but I was making
Oh, I
sure.
know, but I mean like because you'll go into the hub, so just look for the one that says podcast room.
Okay.
So so we'll recap. We talked a little bit, and I mean a little bit because none of us have actually played Silent Hill, and you have.
Oh, about the Silent Hill reveal. Oh,
Yeah. I was thinking to myself, I'll wait till Lewis gets here, cause
oh, I got
then.
some stuff to say about
Reveal was
Oh, you've
very
unplugged.
interesting. Very like, oh,
He's
those
unplugged.
crazy sons of bitches, they've done it. Fact that Silent Hill 2
Lewis,
is
you've
getting
unplugged.
that. My thing. The fact that Silent Hill 2 is getting a remake, and it's Blooper Team that's doing the remake, is that's been rumored or leaked. I think it was leaked a long time ago. I hope it's. I really like Silent Hill 2. It was the first one I ever played. Pyramid Head is a very iconic villain. You think of Silent Hill, you look at him, and that's the game he's from. So I hope they do justice. I hope they do a really good job on it, unlike the Resident Evil 3 remake. And even talking about remakes, even Resident Evil 2 remake, there's
I mean, that
parts
one
of
was
that
good.
game, but there's parts of that game that I still think the original is better than the remake because the original has more to it. I felt the remake, they cut a lot of content that was really interesting for the first game. That I hope they don't do that with Silent Hill 2. The over the shoulder camera also kind of like, oh, I kind of miss the whole fixed camera tank controls from the old Silent Hill days or even survival horror days. You know, that's what made those games so scary, is because the controls were so bad. You're trying to run away, and you're like, no, how do I do it? Where's he coming from? I can't see him.
Just speaking of that, it's giving me like PTSD from dealing with fucking Tyrant in that one tiny room as Rebecca in Resident
Yeah,
Evil
you'll
0.
know exactly for
Because I'm
playing
just
Resident
like,
Evil 0.
oh god.
The other Silent Hill announcements were, we don't know a lot about them. Townfall looks interesting, but it was just a trailer.
Apparently, everyone's like, well, not up in arms, but like really happy about who's making the Silent Hill F. Apparently, this guy, the guy's making it, is like really famous for his horror animes and that, or
Who's
something
making
like
it?
that.
making
Let me bring up the trailer and look at it.
Oh yes, it's the
never mind.
so the writer of Silent Hill F, Ren, because Ren will be interested in this as well, because she also watched that anime.
Mhm.
When Do You Cry, Higurashi. The writer for that is doing the new Silent Hill F script, or the game at least. That anime it's very interesting. It's very kind of mind-boggling. Sorry for the screaming baby. He also agrees. He's also
Yeah,
very
that's fine.
excited. Yeah, if
My
it's
one-
anything like that anime, it'll be interesting. I don't know. Silent Hill is a American town. The town, actually, fun fact, the town of Silent Hill is based on, the outlook of it is based on the film Kindergartner Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger. The town in that film was the base outline for Silent Hill.
Huh.
There's a fun fact for you. The movie got my attention, actually, because I like the Silent Hill films. And if they bring back Sean Bean for this trilogy, it'll be that'll be really good.
Let's not
That's
bring
too
Sean Bean back because he's got a bad track record of dying in everything he's in.
Well, exactly. So, and it's a horror film,
It'd be perfect.
and he's playing the main character. So, and one of the
My-
endings, he actually does die in Silent Hill 2. So,
My one query is, will the nurses be in it again?
Well, I mean,
yes,
they were also a bit of a staple, but not as like
not as much as
Pyramid
Pyramid.
Head.
So,
Yeah.
the new film, The Return to Silent Hill, looks like it's going to be following the story of Silent Hill 2 more, which is what the second film kind of ended off with. Through the story concept and the storyboards they showed at the release during the Silent Hill reveal thing, storyboards at the hospital, which is the first kind of major area you go into in that game. So, yes, I would imagine the nurses will feature quite heavily.
Good.
And Seventh Sins also said that Konami has developed tremendously also since the original. Like, well, that's true, but hurry up and make those Metal Gear fucking Solid games. We want the remake.
They killed that. That's done. Without Kojima, you want Metal Gear Solid without Kojima? You got it. It's called Metal Gear Solid Survive. You want more of that?
Nope, Azrael has left the building. His internet has died. No one wants milk.
Yes.
I am still here.
What?
You want that Metal Gear Solid film with Oscar Isaac? When's that
I'm
getting
still
released?
here. I'm standing right in front of you.
But you've left the party, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
That's cool.
But the Resident Evil event's coming today, isn't it? Or is it already on?
11 o'clock tonight. So
11 o'clock tonight.
It's gonna, from what I gather, it's just gonna be like Resident Evil Village and 4. But I've
So
also
everything
seen,
we've already seen.
Yeah, I have also seen though that people are fans are remaking Code Veronica and Outbreak in the RE engine. So I don't know if Capcom might
I
look
want
at them
it
and
to
be
be
like,
more. I want it to be more than just another trailer for Gold and
yeah.
in Resident Evil 4. Yes, we know you're making them. You've shown us 4 times you're making them.
Don't get me wrong. I would actually be happy to see the gameplay of Resident Evil 4, and knowing them, they'd probably be like, demo available now for PlayStation after the event. Like when you go into the village.
I
like
doubt that.
you know, well, I mean, they
I
did have
doubt
Devil May Cry and they did with Resident Evil. But yeah, you never know, and you know it as well.
I doubt it. They won't release a trailer for a DLC. I know a demo for a DLC.
Well,
And Resident Evil 4 is still a few years off, I would say. They're not going to release. But they wouldn't release the demo for it now, unless it's coming out in January, which I doubt.
February, I think, is coming out, or no, March time. So either February or March. But I don't see why they're doing another Resident Evil Village showcase. unless they've got something
because
that.
Silent Hill did a showcase. Because it was very convenient that Silent Hill said they were doing a showcase, and then BAM! Capcom were like, oh yeah, we're doing a Resident Evil 1 too.
Right.
Well,
It was like
it's,
almost within the hour that Silent Hill said we're doing one. Resident Evil were like, oh, we're gonna do one too.
it's more like it's more in the case of what have you got left to show for the gold edition.
RE Versus, you know that game we got free with Resident Evil 7 that you still can't play?
Oh yeah, that's very true. But I'm thinking like unless they have something they're not telling, like a special like DLC they're not telling us, and my brain goes to, because I want to find out, and this is because they've left it like in the open. Spoilers for Resident Evil Village, so if you haven't played it through, I'm looking at you, Asriel, because I know you're playing through it. I put down the headset until I
I'll
wave.
just say it.
Okay.
My memory is shite.
It's when Chris says that they're heading to the BSAA to figure out what the hell is going on after finding out that BSAA using bioweapons.
That's not going to get addressed. That you won't get that addressed in DLC. That you will find files. You will find information about that in the DLC for Ethan Winter's daughter because she's all a part of that. But they won't create their own DLC for that. They're going to create one DLC for Resident Evil 7, including Mercenaries mode, and then move on to their next project. That's what I believe they're going to do, and that's probably what they're thinking. The showcase, yeah, it'll be interesting if they do release another RE remake kind of thing, or that they're working on another RE type of remake game, either Veronica or
If they say Outbreak, I'm like, yes!
Outbreak. But I think that'll be a way bit off. They'll want to not affect the sales of Gold. They will not want to affect the sales of RE4. And there's a lot of other horror contenders coming up this year and next year that they'll have to kind of fight with. I mean, Callisto Protocol's coming at the end of the year. We all hype for that. The Dead Space successor, and then Dead Space itself is coming next year as well. Ren's awfully happy with that. We still need to play through 3.
I say they should bring out a Resident Evil game from like the villain's point of view.
That would be interesting.
They kind of did.
Yeah.
Operation Raccoon City kind of did that.
Not even that. Even with Umbrella Chronicles, the rail share.
You got Wesker's perspective.
You got Wesker's kind of perspective.
You can actually play in the PlayStation 5 if you own Platinum.
You can just buy it.
No, you need to subscribe.
It's same with the Dark Side Chronicles.
Which is apparently the camera pissed off a lot of people from that. Just how they did the camera in that Dark Side Chronicles.
Really? They did it the exact same way as they did Umbrella Chronicles.
Apparently they did a wait. Like I was watching Maximilian and he was like talking about it, and he said that they absolutely hated it because of how bad the camera was. Like it was just way too shaky.
I really enjoyed it. Well, I loved it. I don't know. Resident Evil, I think, went downhill after 5 had its moments, but after 5, even 5, they got rid of Wesker, which was one of the most interesting villains, made him not as interesting as he originally was, and then after that, 6.
Yeah, and
then 7 was okay, but then 8 went back to the whole action-packed.
Yeah, 8 went around the map of like Resident Evil 4 though. With the whole like merchant and that, I mean, they reference him a lot when they came to the Duke, going, "What are you buying?" I swear to fuck you, if he had an RE4, I might be pissed.
Of course he will be. He's a main staple. Things they need to fix in RE4 would be the Krauser fight, I think, at the end. The castle, they could do with tidying up the castle area a wee bit.
Not making an entire escort game.
Well, that's the whole point of the game, though.
Yeah, but like
have one of the best characters, Lewis, not die to an enlarged penis would be nice.
Wait, what?
You laugh,
He
but it
gets-
actually you laugh, but we're not even fucking kidding.
Gets stabbed through the chest by a tentacle that comes out of the guy's robes in a very awkward area of his robes.
Lovely.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Very
Oh,
tasty.
seriously? Stabbed through the chest? Oh, that's shite.
Mm.
In fact, say, Cap would put it up his rear end and bring it out his gub. And then he would split in two.
Well, technically, he did
I
get
mean,
pierced
if you
in
do
the
want to
back
see
and
that, I know some sites. Um,
Oy.
I don't know. The thing is, between Resident Evil and Silent Hill is very more psychological horror. Every enemy, especially in Silent Hill 2, represents a part of James's psyche that is diminishing due to his wife's death. In Resident Evil, it's zombies,
Yeah,
bigger
oh,
zombies,
yeah,
monsters.
it's more like virus, like Las Plagas, T virus, C virus.
Yeah, it's got a bit more action
Like-
to it. Where Silent Hill it's the corridors you're walking down, and all you can hear is the footsteps. There's no music, there's no nothing, and it's like a dark, run down.
And even then, you're going
apartment
down.
building.
And even then, you're going down said building. You just hear scraping across the floor.
Yeah,
and
and
you
then
can-
you
and-
get to that door, that kind of grating in between, and then you see Pyramid for the first time, and you shit yourself. You're like, whoa!
I mean,
Who's that guy?
The original Resident Evil 3, I feel like, because I think that's the only one I played for a bit before we got 4. Had that with
Nemesis chasing
Nemesis, like, because
Well, 'cause
obviously you
Nemesis
would be like,
opened
oh,
doors.
safe and.
That was one of the best things about Nemesis. He opened doors. In Resident Evils before that, you would go into a room. The enemies in the previous room would not chase you. You go into that room, you're fine. Nemesis chased you around the whole map unless you're in the safe zone. That's why he is like so well remembered, or people remember Resident Evil 3 so fondly. It's because of that constant kind of threat on your butt.
Yeah.
And then they redid it with Resident Evil 2 remake with Mr. X.
With Mr. X.
They did do that pretty well, but then I feel like, granted, I enjoyed the remake of 3, but they cut so
Never played
much
it.
down.
I love the original too much, and I heard so much bad things. But that was the thing. See, for Resident Evil 2, in the original, you get a cutscene of a helicopter coming through with tubes, fires one down, goes through the police station. You see that tube. Mr. X punches through that and starts chasing you. That's awesome. In the remake, you go up to a door, he lifts something up, and he's chasing you. No reason why he's there. You don't see his entrance.
Yeah, he lifts the helicopter. Well, no, you kind of do when you go into the speak to the guy in the cell. He like punches through the wall, grabs the guy's head, and crushes it. And then
but he's already in. He's already in. You've already seen him by that point.
Okay.
You've seen him a few times by that point. I mean, in Resident Evil 2, you get to see him enter Raccoon City. You get to see that there's more than one of these fucks as well.
Oh yeah. 'Cause I remember there being a big staple in Operation Raccoon City, just like they dropping down
Yeah.
that tyrants and that.
Is it just me that this room get like way brighter?
It does that. I have toned it down so it's not as like blinding as it was before, but it's because it's like going to nighttime.
Here's a question for you. Managed to just see this on the past thing. A Plague Tale. Does that class as a horror game? Would you say?
Plague Tale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yes. The Plague
I
Tale
thought so.
is horrifying. Yes, the sequel is now out. It is out on Game Pass as well on PlayStation and PC at the moment. It's on PC, Xbox
apparently
Game Pass
got,
2.
It also
I need to
apparently
play
got
it.
two stars.
Oh, the
something like
sequel.
The sequel apparently got bad reviews, but it's free on Game
Oh, don't
Pass.
say
so-
that. I was looking forward to it because the first one
I
came
mean-
out free on PlayStation Plus,
Yeah.
and me and my other half sat and we played it, didn't we? And it's a horror-based game, isn't it? It's quite terrifying.
What Plague Tale does is amplifies people's fear on rats,
Yeah.
and it plays into the nightmare 'cause everyone is afraid of rats, and it plays into that.
Also darkness as well, because the rats represent like a massive mass of just blackness that comes out and just eats you and kills you.
It represents the dark and what people are afraid of.
Yeah,
That's
and
why I
it's
really like it.
it's a self-based game. You have to be stealthy through it. You can't just go guns blazing. But
You don't get guns.
I
you
do
don't- you
appreciate
get a
the way that
slingshot.
I do appreciate the way they took the plague. Like they used the rats to just
Yeah.
emphasize the plague a lot better.
Yeah, but it's also got that kind of supernatural element with the child and things. But no, we will be sitting through Plague. But first, we've got to play Scorn, because Scorn is also free on Game
That
Pass.
looks gory
Looks
as
horrifying.
fuck and horrifying.
Body
at the same
horror,
time.
horrifying. It looks amazing. Getting bad reviews. I don't care. I'm gonna sit through it
To
anyway.
be fair, I've seen the reviews to Gotham Knights and they're saying it's bad. I don't give two fucks. I'm still playing it through with Athena on Sunday.
Well, if you look at the original trailers for Gotham Knights and then you look at the gameplay trailers they've just
I know.
released, it's
I
night
know.
and day. But no, there's a lot of good horror games coming out. There's a lot of good horror films as well that have just been released too.
And there has been a lot of good horror games in the past. Like I was saying before, Evil Within was pretty good.
Evil Within was really good. Ren needs to sit through Evil Within 2. You've not seen the second one. I really enjoyed the second one. I was thinking about this today. I kind of want another Evil Within. I want them to keep going on with that story and what they can do
I was hoping
with that environment.
I wish they didn't do Ghostwire Tokyo. I wish that Evil. They were apparently working.
It's good for a studio wanting to kind of
I know,
branch out
but
and try something new.
I know they were trying. They set themselves.
And
they
it
were
didn't
working on
work.
the
So
third
go back to what you do best.
Alan Wake. Don't forget
Alan
Alan
Wake was interesting. Alan Wake was in development hell for a long time, and then they just finally brought it out, and everyone was really hyped, and it had a really interesting story. And then the DLCs that combined to it to complete the ending made a fantastic story. I sat through that 5 times, I think, Alan Wake. But
Then
it gets to that point like Resident Evil does. It gets to the point where it stops being scary because you're so powerful. I mean, you're not scared, you're more annoyed by the amount of monsters that are coming to you because your shotguns run out of ammo. That's not scary. That doesn't give me the shakes. That doesn't give me the alien isolation. I've just shat myself because the xenomorph has just caught me underneath the table.
Oh, that game.
Terrifying. Like trying to stealthily avoid getting caught by the xenomorph. Nah. And then when there was like the ending of it, where there's a whole nest of them.
See, I like to think of horrors in 2 different categories. You've got your psychological, kind of terrifying horrors like Amnesia, Alien, and things. And then you've got your action-oriented horrors, your Resident Evils, your Dead Spaces in a way.
Especially the third one, but the third one went too far that way, like Resident Evil 6 did. That's why I actually enjoyed 7, because I felt like it was back to what it used to be.
I have to disagree with you.
I don't know, there's 2 different kind of ways you can look at. I'd like.
There's 3 different.
Okay, it was the third one.
So you have your psychological,
Yeah.
right? You have your jump scares, and you have your action.
Ah, well, jump scares kind of.
But if you watch the Blair Witch Project, okay, there is not a single jump scare in that film that is terrifying from start to finish.
It's not really. It's very boring.
I can't remember.
I sat through the first hour of Blair Witch Project, really excited, because I'm a huge horror fan. And then I was like,
That is the first
when did they get into the
film.
spooks?
That is the first ever film.
Where are the spookies coming?
That's the first ever.
I'm like that taking that.
I know it was.
Even with horror films. And that, see this, these days and that, it's like, you watch a horror film, you're like, right, where's the horror?
I had to sleep with the lights on.
The most scary thing about horror films these days is the time you're not getting back.
I mean, nothing can beat that new Scream movie that me and Azrael watched. Oh God, no.
Oh my God, no.
I've not watched
That
any.
was-
I've seen the first one, but I've never watched any of the Scream movies. And I know there's a TV show as well now.
Well, we watched.
Scream.
Me and Azrael decided one night to watch the newest one, the 5th one. Is it the 5th one?
They did a reboot, and then I think they did a newer one that goes on the continuity.
Aye, the newest one is like, they go all the characters from the first one,
Yeah.
aged them about fucking 20 years, say.
I don't think the
Until
film
they
aged them. I think they actually aged by 20 years.
Aye. And then brung them back because there was another fucking killer, and it's like, come on, the fuck. We all ken who the fuck it is.
Let's just sum this up. Every reference to any other horror movie they could chuck in, they did. There's a part where they
Yes.
show
Oh,
a
yeah.
street and it says Elm Street on it.
But that's what Scream's about. That's what the original Scream was all about. It was about those horror tropes and things, and there was a killer using horror tropes. Like in the first scene, the killer phones up and says, "Who was the first killer in Friday the 13th?" And she goes, "Oh, it's Jason Voorhees." And he's like, "No, that's wrong. Now your friend's going to die." Scream was always about poking fun at the horror tropes within films and then using that for its own kind of thing.
I do agree that they did poke fun, but I think they overdid it, if that makes sense.
Yes, it was like, we were actually having a drinking game during it. How many horror films can they reference?
I think we were down 2
That's
drinks before the first hour was finished.
Oh,
So technically it is Scream 5, but they just called it Scream, so they did. Yeah, I've just looked up. Let's have a look at it.
I mean, that is probably the point behind it, though. Like, it's the whole like aspect of like, hey, I'm like, as like that example, like, you fucked up the question, now you're gonna die.
aye.
Like, I mean, if we're going to go on like a big like series of films that,
I got a 6 out of 10 by IMDb, and I got a 76% in Rotten Tomatoes.
like,
So it can't be that bad
Right,
of a film.
I don't understand the Rotten Tomatoes.
The higher the score, the better the movie. What's to not understand?
No, but I hear about it like a number of years in like programs I watch. What is that from? The Rotten Tomatoes?
It's a website. It's one of the biggest websites that people review films and TV for. There's 2 different kind of tomato meters. There is the
Right.
critics tomato meter, which they have paid critics, so people that work for the newspapers and things, they put their reviews to. And then you've got your audience score, which is what the audience see the films to, and then they take both of them together and then give it an
Right.
average score. So
Aye.
Scream got a 76% tomato meter by critics and an 82% by audience score. So the audience says definitely isn't shy about calling back to the franchise's past, but still fun and scary in its own unique way.
Oh, maybe we just didn't like it then.
No, it was a good film. It was just
Meh, debatable.
I like dark and scary films, but it's maybe just I have watched that many that they don't scare me anymore. Because
Maybe you can desensitize to it. Yeah.
I watch horror films and I go and I'm sitting there watching it and it's like I'll like sit there and what's the word? I'm like tell them what they're doing wrong.
criticize.
Like there's always a blonde woman running away from the killer through the house. Instead of going out the front door, she runs to the attic.
I mean, fair enough. I was
Yeah,
gonna say like,
you do have those kind of face palm moments, like why are you doing
It's
that?
like,
But then you've got to forget,
why?
you got to remember, it's because if she ran out the front door, the film would be ending in like 10 minutes. You know, they've got to create that suspense, but there is those kind of
runs
moments
out
like,
front
"Why are you
door,
doing
credits roll.
It's the same way.
I phoned the police.
It's the same way. Oh, it was with one of the screams. No, Nightmare on Elm. Oh, it was one of the horror franchises. She walks out the house. She walks up to the police car. They're in the police car, dead. What does she do? She runs back in the house.
I suppose she knows the
What?
house better. It's better than just running
Why?
around in the street.
If the cops are dead, the killer is in the house.
I think it was
It's more,
is that
well, no,
no
if they're
Halloween?
outside, probably. I was gonna say if
It means the
in that
killer's on the
scenario,
property.
well, if she went outside to see the police in the car, then the killer will be out there, probably
Who knows?
nearby. On that regard, but if we're talking about films that reference a lot of like other films, the big 5 or 6, I don't know how many they made. Scary Movie.
Yes.
A scary movie.
Scary movie's a comedy.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
a
it's
horror
not.
comedy
No,
in a
it's
way.
it's a comedy taking the piss out of horror films. Another one,
Yes.
as that's not scary movie that does the same thing as Stan Helsing, which is amazing for anyone that's seen Stan Helsing, where he
I
has to
just
fight Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Pinhead,
I just
Chucky.
remember like I
It's
just, I
just
just remember
man,
like how they
it's just a weird
determine how
film.
they're gonna. I just remember like how they determine they're gonna win by doing a sing off. And so they do YMCA, but like, hey Stan.
I think personally, Scary Movie will always have a favorite thing for me, and it's only because of the first movie when the girl gets her head chopped off and she's still chatting away, going, "Oh look, I'm dead." Da 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 da.
No. The best
I
thing
watched.
from Scary Movie is the second one. Take my strong hand.
Oh,
It's
God,
my
the
strong hand. Take my strong hand. No, give me your hand. No, it's my strong hand.
Aye.
Yeah.
The
And their
first three.
racist parrot.
Oh, the first three films are really good. The fourth one kind of peters out a wee bit.
I mean, one of the best ones will always be going, "What are you gonna brush now, huh? What you gonna brush now?"
the stoner gets turned into a smoke. Gets smoked by the plant.
Actually, I don't remember the third film that much. I thought the third film was the fourth film. The fourth film
Four film
I kind
starts
of
off with
enjoyed.
the Saw thing, where it's like,
Yeah, the fourth film had Saw and War of the Worlds
yeah,
going on. The third one was about Signs and the
One
Ring
of them has the
films.
Grudge in it.
That's can't remember which one that is.
I remember.
Go on.
The Grudge is
Thank
a
you.
terrifying film. But if you want to watch The Grudge properly, you watch the American one, the Shunji,
Nah, it's the Ring I like more.
Well, see, for the
Was
original
that
Japanese
what
one, they
the
did.
third gene was? Was
Say
I
the
think
third
so.
gene was
I think
was the third scary movie about the ring?
yes, she has a videotape that's killing folk.
Aye.
Yeah, that's what it says here.
Is that the one that
Uh,
has the organic? The TV is leaking.
Yeah,
Yes. Aye, she walks up and beats the
Beats
shit
her
out
ass,
of her
yeah.
mate. Aye, it tells her
this
to
bitch
wake
walking
up.
through the TV.
Aye.
Oh hell no!
Aye. Look at the mess you made.
Yeah, I didn't like. Well, I didn't give them a fair shot. I've got the three Ring films. I tried to watch the first one, but I didn't really enjoy it that much. But I do know, for in Japan they made the girl in the Ring versus the girl from the Grunge. I can't remember the actual name of the film, and it's supposed to be really interesting. But Japan does shit like that all the time.
There's minimal difference between those two, though.
Yeah, apparently at the end, spoilers for a film that none of you are going to watch. They combined and create something even more terrifying.
What? Does she just have longer hair?
Must do. Apparently, what they do is they play the video inside the Grunge house, and then she comes out and they fight, and then they just turn into like the same person or something.
Tell me, has Scary Movie done yet about Poltergeist? Or is that one of the horror films they have not taken the mickey out of yet?
I think they did. I think parts of one of them they had reference to the scene in Poltergeist
I
with the
believe there
girl
was.
holding the TV.
Oh no, I was thinking of the one the girl's asleep and then she ends up on the ceiling and a bit busy
That's
with a
the
ghost.
Exorcist.
Oh right. She ends up. How do I put this in a nice way? Shagging a ghost?
Yeah.
No, that was Scary Movie 2.
With the priest. Yeah.
No, it was one of the yins in the house in Scary Movie 2 ends up having sex with a ghost.
The one was
And then
ghost, but like in
doggy style across the ceiling.
Lovely, lovely.
tasty stuff. Anyway, horror is the theme of today.
Yeah.
And that's pretty horrifying.
Yeah. But as I was saying before, like we've also got like, because obviously, well, not really the Army of Darkness. We really call it more of a horror comedy. Still a good film.
Army of Darkness is still pretty terrifying. Back in the day, like because they didn't have CGI and things like that.
Yeah.
The whole claymation stuff, like with his face elongating after he rips out with the book, that's horrifying to some people.
I fucking love it how that is now a screamer in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one for a horror movie. Well, I've always said it was a horror movie. Coraline.
The one with the button eye girl.
Yep.
Yeah. Apparently that's really that has moments where it's really terrifying. I've never seen it. Ren loves it.
It's eerie as anything.
I'm trying to remember who's the director. It's a famous director that does it. Is it Guillermo del Toro that does that?
Because it's classed as a kids movie, but that is not a kids movie half the time.
And well,
some kids movies are horrifying.
And well, speaking of evil, when I was mentioning Evil Dead there, Bruce Campbell is in talks of getting Ash versus Evil Dead season 4 animated.
If it'd be animated, that'd be interesting because he's too old to play Ash now.
Yeah, I think that's why they're doing it, and I'm kind of like, well, that'll be fucking awesome, because obviously they got.
Oh no, so Coraline is actually a book written by Neil Gaiman, who did the Sandman series, which is now on Netflix. So he did.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I love
like the comic.
Sandman.
The comic is really interesting as well for that. Because my other half, she loves the comics. She loves the TV show as well. But yeah, he apparently did the book for Coraline. But there's some amazing kids films that can be classed as horrors. I mean, a lot of the Disney stuff, like, have some horrifying villains. Black Cauldron with a Horned King.
Black Cauldron. That is a brilliant movie. I used to be terrified as a Wayne. Love it now.
Based on the books Chronicles of Prydain by Lloyd Alexander. But yeah, like there's some great, like even films like Nine with Elijah Wood, it's an animated, it's a kids film, but the whole kind of scenery, the world is horrifying and terrifying when you stop to think about it. Pan's Labyrinth, that's a horror film basically, but it's a kids film. But speaking of great horror films, one's just come back, Hellraiser. New Hellraiser on Hulu.
I was waiting for someone to point it out, and if it be anyone, it'd be you, because you've watched.
Oh yeah, I've only seen the first, and I've seen the first, the fifth, and part of the sixth Hellraiser film. The first one is brilliant and still holds up to this day. I was watching it with Ren. Ren hates claymation, so she hates anything claymation. And there's a great scene in the first film where this guy is reanimating himself, and it's all in claymation. You see his skeleton rise up, and then the flesh start like covering the skeleton bones, and it's horrifying. And it's amazing. And she was so scared. It's great. But yeah, apparently I've not seen it because I don't have Hulu. But it's getting a lot of good reviews. It's apparently a return to the form for the Hellraiser series, which is quite good because that's been getting a lot of kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it can be anything better than what Resident Evil did with that series.
The Netflix TV show. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I've seen like a clip of like one of the characters like dancing, and I'm just sat there being like, "What the fuck?"
It's
Going on.
it's shit. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's not good. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was an interesting story, and it would be really interesting if it didn't have the words Resident Evil at the beginning of the title. If it was a standalone kind of story, that and
If it
thing,
didn't have
really good.
like the
But
iconic characters,
only
it
had
probably.
one.
Get a phone call.
Well, okay, yeah, well, Wesker, fair enough.
Yeah, I only had Wesker.
I thought I had more than that, but yeah, no. I feel like Netflix just did that as an excuse to have like liquors if they had it. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not seen the film, but like have like there's Resident Evil like monsters in it. Like I've seen like
I
I think I've seen the
suppose,
opening with a gigantic
but
caterpillar, and I'm like,
it's fine. Okay, so it can have the name Resident Evil in front of it. It can have monsters from Resident Evil and things. It can be set in the Resident Evil universe, but just set it in the universe. Have it like the whole like Lawrence Riddick is a tremendous actor. He's really good in John Wick. He's oh, what else has he been in? I'm sure his name was Lawrence Riddick. Then what's the name of the fella that played Albert Wesker in that Netflix?
oh yeah, hang on, I can get for you.
To be honest,
Okay.
Lance Reddick.
Lawrence.
I had to put him on our bed.
Yeah, because he does like Zavala from Titanfall, Destiny 2.
Yes, he does.
He's in
Zavala.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Young Sheldon. He's in
Young Sheldon.
He did a few comedies, but he's in John Wick. Jonah Hex Brothers. He's done a lot of things. He's a great actor. But yeah, to have him
But
play
him-
as
him
oh, he's in
Wesker, it's
King
like,
Kong versus
okay.
Godzilla.
Didn't know that. But him playing as like Wesker, it's like okay, not who I pick.
No.
But
I would have had him as some scientist, and that'd be interesting. And then after you get the first film, or the first kind of series, then start trickling in characters. Like Resident Evil can very well be done. It's the story is there, the whole setup's there. You can definitely make a decent TV show out of that. But every time,
pretty sure
I've
they've
not seen
tried
the
as well, like with
newest
Infinite Darkness.
one, the Welcome to Raccoon City film.
I was about to say that
I haven't
too.
seen that one.
We've also got the Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, which is like set between set before the events of Resident Evil 4 with Claire and Leon, which is animated.
Oh, is that the films, the animated films, the trilogy?
That's an animated show on Netflix.
Oh yes, so there is. Yeah, because it's the same folk that did the animated films, the trilogy of films. That did that.
Yeah, I haven't seen the third film, but I just remember Chris. I remember two main things from that film, like the Chris and Leon in the hallway killing like hordes of zombies, and then Chris and the main villain having the most goofiest handgun pistol fight in all existence, where they're literally running around each other, firing the guns and just missing, and it's like, the fuck.
That's horror, baby. That's what gets the kids all spooked.
Like, all right. I mean, hey, Rebecca's back in it, but I'm like,
meh.
No.
But yes, no. Horror fans are eating good at the moment. We've got Resident Evil stuff coming. We've got Silent Hill stuff coming. We've got Callisto Protocol at the end of the year. Got the Dead Space remake, which I don't know.
I think it's going to be.
I don't want it to be a play-by-play of Dead Space 1, just kind of new graphics. I want them to change some of the story elements that don't really make sense. Change maybe the ending a wee bit, make it a bit better.
I mean,
have Isaac talk through the first one, because one of the best things about Dead Space 2 was Isaac's commentary.
Yeah, he's coming back.
I know the voice actor's coming back.
And
I know he's coming back, but have they announced that it's going to have dialogue? Because in all
Yeah.
the trailers, he doesn't say anything. You just hear him grunting away.
Yeah, in the newest trailer, he's actually talking.
Is he?
And
I'm
he
trying to
can
stay away
he
from some of the trailers. I don't
he
want too
can
many
he-
spoilers.
yeah, he can hear Nicole, I think, and he's like, "Who's there?" and all that.
Yeah.
There's also
Okay.
because they're changing the 0G to like how it worked in Dead Space 3 and 2.
Yeah, because that was a
Um,
lot better.
yeah. They are bringing back like the technical like event. If you remember that, where like you're just running in the hallway and all of a sudden you get grabbed by a tentacle and just dragged, and you're like panicking to shoot this fucking weak point before you get killed.
That's good, because moments like that create tension. That was one of the best things about Dead Space. Like, Ren hates body horror, and I love Dead Space, so she was terrified, and I was loving life. So you walk down a corridor, you hear like chattering, you hear whispering when you go into bathrooms, you hear clanging of monsters, you hear growling, and you're like, oh, what's coming up? And then you go into that room, and there's nothing there, and you leave that room, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna get jump scared, and you don't, but then you do.
Yeah. So I know. Sorry, go on.
It's great.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say it's just great. It's just it's sci-fi horror doesn't get a lot of justice
no.
in I'm tagging and gaming.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Apart from Dead Space, we didn't have anything System Shock for that. We never got anything. Prey.
That yeah, I was gonna say like there isn't actually any. I mean, yes, you got like horror, but not really sci-fi horror.
You got Alien Isolation.
And then Alien Isolation showed up, and everyone's like,
and I was like, ooh.
dear God.
I would actually say that Alien vs Predator, the Marine campaign in Alien vs Predator, there was moments in that I was pretty like, whoa, that was scary. That was the big spooks.
I mean,
I had the big.
I remember playing the multiplayer of that as a Marine, and then questioning why the fuck am I playing Marine?
Yeah, because you just like running down the corridor, you get the gun, like, then an alien jumps up behind you and gets you, and you're like.
Because it's even like you're sat there being like you're against a predator, you're against aliens, and you're sat there being like, wait, why the fuck am I a human when I can be these? Like, why am I the one severely outnumbered? Like outclassed.
Mm-hmm.
Although I was playing that Aliens Fire Team, and I didn't have that moment of like I think near the end of the mission I did, of like panic, because I was playing it just myself against like with AI, right, like 2 other AI people, and I was like the medic, so I only had like a pistol and like a machine gun, and I was like, oh, these actually not that bad. There's not that many like aliens. It gets to the end of the level, and there's just nothing but swarm of aliens, and I've run out of ammo, and I'm just watching my AI like get absolutely murdered, and I'm just like, fuck this, run. just fucking run. Not really much. Well, it's horror in a way, but it was not. But like that game's not really horrifying at times. It's
it's a bit like Aliens Colonial Marines.
Yeah.
It's more of a team shooter.
All because that game only fucked up because they made one mistake.
One spelling mistake in the coding. Yeah, they never fix it. Fuck it, we're not fixing that. That's the thing. Like Alien. Then we're getting a new Alien game next year as well. Dark Descent, I think it is. The RTS one is coming.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. RTS games are just great. Starship Troopers RTS looked awesome. But I was just having a quick look there. Another great set of horror games are the ones that are done by the Dark Pictures anthology team.
I was mentioning that as well.
I've only played Until Dawn, and that was fantastic. I remember running through that and then immediately wanting to go back and running through it again. I think I've got Man of Medan on PlayStation
that was
Plus.
Free, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine who's played through and loves every single one of the Dark Picture anthology games.
Because they're like, to say they're games, they're more like films, but they're that kind of niche in between. It's a pick your own adventure.
Yeah, it's like Telltales, like,
Yeah.
and those games were
Yeah.
done right as well. Like The Walking Dead,
It's
that was
gonna,
pretty good.
coming back to Silent Hill, we've got that Silent Hill, Ascension, is it called? That's supposed to be a pick your own kind of story
Is
thing.
it? Okay.
Yeah, that's a pick your own story streaming thing
Where is it?
where people are going to vote to see what the character does and then they do the thing.
Alright, so we got Townfall,
Townfall.
Ascension, and then 2.
Yeah. And then the film. And then
then
all the
Return to Silent
models.
Hill.
And the pachinko machines too.
Oh god.
Now, but there's some great horror games there. Even games that aren't supposed to be technically horror can be quite terrifying. Like Gears of War. There's moments in Gears of War that are quite like, when you think about it, I'm inside of a mouth of like a giant worm.
No,
Imagine if
no,
I was just a regular dude and not have a chainsaw.
No. It's
Dude.
when you're playing multiplayer, you think you got the cover, and then your head just gets popped flying off before you even realize it.
Because somebody that's got the host connection comes up to you. And you're lagging away.
Yeah, fucking host advantage bastards.
But no, one of the best ways to experience horror, I think, is through video games.
Yeah.
Because you can watch a film, you can pause it, you can rewind it, you can watch it multiple times. But horror, when you're playing it in a game, you're actually playing as the character. Like Amnesia, it's all first-person perspective. Even in, I think,
And then that fear
through
of it knowing
VR.
the fear of knowing it's behind you as well. It's like you get that sense of dread because you can feel it like coming up behind you. Like probably in the case of like Alien Isolation, knowing the aliens on your right, probably behind
Because
you,
you got
nearby,
the motion sensor.
and it's like freaking you out.
And then you got the added frustration. So you get the fear of actually playing the game, and then you die, and then you go back to the bit, and then you are afraid again because you know it's coming, and then you get killed by it again, and then you get frustrated. And then you have that frustrating fear. You break your controller. You buy a new one. You go back to the same point. You die again. You look up a walkthrough. You realize you need an item 3 doors ago.
Oh, Resident Evil in a nutshell as well. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Looks up walkthrough, see there's an item that you like. I think I had to look up a walkthrough for the door with the dial on it because I didn't know what the hell I was supposed to do, and I did not think to look at the file that was like, you gotta see the leeches, count the count, and it was like, really?
No.
Is that okay?
But I would like, technically, as when Storm pointed out, I don't know if you're still here.
Sorry, I had to run away there quickly.
It's okay, but like you mentioned, Dead Rising as a horror game.
Yes. It is in a way.
It
A stupid
is horror
horror game.
It is. I mean,
It's not that stupid. It's the whole story is very kind of serious. Like it's like Yakuza, right? So I had this analogy with Yakuza. Yakuza is a very serious game. Like all the side stuff is silly and stupid as hell, but Yakuza is a very serious game. Dead Rising is a very serious game.
But everything else is just stupid.
Like the story is serious, but the costumes are stupid.
Well, that's if you wear the costumes. But like coming to Dead Rising, the first so you can. Have any of you seen the B-roll? Where you just don't press anything in the first game, and then you get like a little cutscene.
No.
So there's a cutscene in the beginning of the game. If you don't hit start game, you don't go continue. Or
Oh
anything like that.
Yeah.
There's a horrifying scene of a mother and a child that's driving, trying to get a Willamette. Car breaks down. Zombies pile everywhere around. The mother and child, the child is screaming. The mother feared for his life, and all these zombies are trying to get into this car. And you see that, and you feel the kind of terror within that. That's horrifying. In the first segment of Dead Rising, you have to leave a bunch of people to die as you run out, and then the door behind you just gets like melted closed. That's kind of horrifying.
Not even that, but also the scene where you're just like flying over Willamette, looking around, and you Frank, the character, is completely oblivious to what is going on, but the player has somewhat idea because they can see the zombie. They can see that's a zombie. They can see that's a civilian on the roof trying to survive, asking for help, only get dragged off the building and fall splat on their head, or like the massive gas station exploding, and you just see the zombies like walking out on fire before they succumb to the burns.
Yeah, he's like, what's going on? It's like, Frank, the name of the game is Dead Rising. Did you not see the trailers for this game? You not read the cover of this game? It's Dead Rising you're in. No, but then you just go off to the kids' like shop, and then you put on a silly costume, and then you run around chopping zombies' heads off with a katana in the restaurant.
No, I remember you just grabbing a frying pan and setting that thing setting the hob
frying
on
pan, sizzling the fire pan, and just going
face.
BAM!
I just remember when... Oh, sorry.
Then they got goofy with Dead Rising 2. Like
Dead
that's
Rising 2 is also...
You're in that electric wheelchair.
Yeah, but like gameplay-wise, yes, the story for every single one of them, even 4, despite its flaws, had a very serious story. I mean, hell,
it's a very serious story, but like Yakuza, they add things in, other elements in it to make it a bit funny, a bit goofy, and for the players to have fun. Because at the end of the day, anybody that creates a game wants the players to have some sort of experience, whether it's a fun experience or a terrifying. Even if they want it to be a terrifying experience, you still want people to enjoy them, these experiences.
100%.
Yes, Yakuza is a very serious game.
No way.
I love Yakuza.
Oh, I still only played through 7.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm gonna start that stream. Start streaming that in November after horror.
It was very sad.
No.
What about the Quarry?
Quarry is the newest one, isn't it? By
Aye.
Everyone.
I've not played any of them.
Everybody didn't. Well, I know one person who's very angry about it because the multiplayer was not the same as it was in Man of Medan. Apparently, it was like one player plays, everyone else just watches. Whereas in Man of Medan,
there's multiplayer.
Yeah, there's a multiplayer component to it. So like one person would play, so would the other, as another character, and you can have like I think like 4 different people playing different characters. And when it comes to that segment, you play that person playing.
I've been trying to get a team together and that to play Back 4 Blood. Not because I just want to play that online, but I don't want to play it with randoms.
It's on the Game Pass, and I downloaded it and tried it out, and I thought it was going to be more Left 4 Dead, but
I think that's
it's not.
It's problem.
Yeah, it's people are expecting it to be something else. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's fine as its own game, but when I start up the game, I'm getting hit by like 50 cards, and I don't know what the fuck any of them do in 5 different classes, and I'm like, this is a bit too much. I'm gonna step back and uninstall.
Well, I like playing the offline version.
That still has the cards though. At the end of the day.
Aye, but it's like the basic cards. It's like stamina, health, ammo, and fortune.
That's because it's playing your deck though. I was referring to the director deck.
Aye. I don't deal with them.
But you have to deal with them because at the end, it's the AI that's making the deck, not you.
I'm trying to think. What's the last horror game I played? Dying Light? Is Dying Light a horror game? Dying Light.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I did not enjoy Dying Light. Ren loved it. She really wanted me to play it because she wanted to know what happens in the end. the ending happened, I was like, right, is that it? And I was like,
You haven't even done the
I
following
could,
yet, though.
I
the
could not even
following's just a
play.
side story. I started it and I was like,
No,
oh, they can get.
it's a, it's the proper ending to Dying Light
So
1.
the following is the proper ending. Because
Yeah.
it doesn't make that out like that in the first
Um,
cutscene.
no, it's supposed to be like months after the events of the first game of the first part of the main game.
It's uninstalled. I'm not
Uh,
reinstalling it. I'm
okay.
playing Devil May Cry 5 now instead.
But
Something I actually want to play.
it's supposed to be like they're still sending supplies, but they're running dangerously low on antigens to go to this place that they heard that there's the cure.
And they can domesticate zombies or something. Yeah, I watched the cutscene, and I was like, "Oh, is this just a side story then?"
It's well, spoiler alert for it. Like the cure, it turns out to be not what it seems. It doesn't stop the infection; it just slows it down through gas. But if you drink it, you actually become a sentient infected.
Oh man,
And you're given at the end of the game, you're given a choice: detonate a nuke, which blows up Haran and everyone in it, but stops the zombies. Was meant to anyway.
you trying to
Or
tell me that the cure wasn't actually a cure, so they can make a second game?
actually, the second game starts off with they had a cure, but they kept on trying to weaponize it. Like the GRE kept weaponizing the cure, and it caused another outbreak, but this time on a massive world-ending scale. I still have yet to go through all of it. I was waiting for Athena, but she is absolutely terrified of zombies. To which she was having panic attacks midway through playing, to which I am trying to play on my own so she doesn't have to suffer anymore.
But she
So
has
I take
played all of Resident Evil.
5 doesn't have zombies. I keep trying to
five.
tell
Well,
people that.
five is the last plague, I guess. 4 didn't have zombies either. After
Yeah, but
4, it stopped being zombies.
she keeps calling them zombies. I'm just like, they're not
Of
fucking
course
zombies.
they do, because that's what Resident Evil is known for. Um, the thing is, as well, between Resident
Then
Evil
again,
and
played
like
6, which had
Dying
zombies.
Light, like Resident Evil, you're over the shoulder camera. You know, you've got a bit of distance between you and the zombie, the creature coming up to you. In Dying
Dying
Light,
Light, it's
they're right
first
up in your
person.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right up in your face. So I can understand that more being afraid of that rather than.
Well, she didn't have the fear during the Leon campaign in RE6, because obviously they were zombies.
Yeah, and then like I said, you got that over the person kind of
Yeah.
camera. You can distance yourself between the character and you're playing.
Yeah. Cause I tried to get her to play more zombies. Like we're talking about Back for Blood, and I was like trying to convince her to actually like try it if we can get it like very cheap, and she's like, "Oh, another zombie game." I'm like, or like,
For me, my controller died.
Now that's a hard game in itself.
especially playing 3 in isolation or something, the control dies halfway through. It's like, no.
Or not even that. You're playing something online, Dead by
Right.
Daylight, and the killer's chasing you, and you get them notice that your controller's on low battery. You're like, no.
That is the one thing I hate, because I can actually remember I was playing this racing game, that the damage you do to your car, you have to pay to renew it. And I was driving down this road. I was going about, I would say, roughly about 250 mile an hour down this road, and my controller died. My car I could see on the telly and that. My car crashed into a wall, continued driving, hit a jump, and landed in a river. I ended up having to pay out hundreds of thousands to fucking sort my car. It's like, you monsters.
Not really horrific, but in a way
It
it
is
is.
it is to when the amount of money you've got is less than the money it would take to sort your car. So you're you're doing races with a fucked up car.
Right, well, moving on. I normally ask this roughly about the end, but I'm gonna ask this question later. The question I'm gonna ask is, well, I'm gonna twist it up a bit. So, I normally ask favorite game, favorite worst game, and then game you're most looking forward to all the time. But I'm gonna switch it up to, because obviously being horror, I'm gonna only ask for everybody favorite horror game.
For a horror game. Dead
That's a
Space
tough
2.
one.
Disney Dreamlight Valley.
fucking Donald.
Dead Space 2.
Hmm.
I have to say Dead Space 2 is my favorite horror game of all time. I've
I-
played through it multiple times.
I wonder why. Remembers the eye gouging scene.
Oh, the eye gouging scene is terrifying. It's
For
the whole thing.
the
Just
whole,
loved
yeah,
it.
the whole thing adding.
Mayan.
Storm, can you mute the mic?
Right. Give me a sec. I need to find the actual game because I can never remember what it's called.
To be
Because
fair, like,
you ever had that game where you love the game, but you can never remember the name of it?
No.
Aye. It's Darksiders.
Well,
Well,
Darksiders.
Darksiders 2.
I wouldn't say
it's
Darksiders 2
not
is a horror
though.
game. I would say it's more an action adventure game. The set in worlds that have horror elements to them, I suppose, especially the
Aye.
second one with the Dead World and things. I love the Darksiders games. I
I'm struggling through
really
three.
hope that they get a fourth one and you play as
Well-
all four of them, or you just come back as War as the main one.
Darksiders
Liam O'Brien
Genesis,
just gives you that big
Genesis
voice.
is a good game.
I know it is.
I've
not-
I've got it. I went and played it. I think it's cool that you play like from above.
Aye, as
Yeah.
War or Strife.
Uh,
But
What was the
yeah,
question? So it was one that you
Fav-
most enjoy. One.
So, well, right now it's horror game. So favorite
yeah,
horror
yeah,
game.
yeah.
But the other questions I ask are your favorite game in general, your worst game in general, and then the game you're looking forward to, like that you've heard about.
Worst horror game.
No, not horror game, just any game. I normally ask
Well,
this at the
it's
end.
horror based.
Well, yeah, but I normally ask this at the end of the near the end of the podcast anyway. But it doesn't have to be horror for that question.
We'll make it horror. We'll make it horror.
I can't think of any.
It's worst. Oh, there's definitely some out there. There's some really bad horror games out there.
I mean, like
that are
ones
just.
that I didn't like.
Until Dawn.
I love that game.
I could
Great.
not get into it. I just thought it was pish.
Well, I'm going to call back to the one that I mentioned earlier. For it kind of mixes two of these together. Favorite horror game, but one that I was looking forward to, but apparently it's crap. The Medium.
Never
Yeah,
played it.
the Medium. See, that's the thing. The Medium was made by Bluebird, which has a lot of mixed reviews for. So with the new Silent Hill being made by them, it can go either way, I think. Yeah, the worst horror game would be Dying Light. I did not like it. Did not care for it. Even Dead Island, I would put in that category as well. I didn't like the weapon mechanic, how your weapons just break and things.
It was the fact that in Dead Island, particularly, you had to go to a weapon bench and pay for it. Like, who the hell are you paying? The nails?
Yeah, Dying Light is. I did enjoy some of it. So yeah, Dead Island, my worst horror game.
That's why I'm worried about 2. To be fair,
Um,
not only because Dead Island 2 has been in a 7-year hiatus. I'm worried about it like doing what Dead Island 1 did with special weapons. Because it's promised to be just a zombie paradise, like apocalypse paradise, where you just and the trailer showed it. Like the guy did not give a fuck. Went to the shops just to get some things, left the battery, forgot batteries, and just went back out like nothing. Like he didn't care. Um,
I'm also looking forward to Be Callisto Protocol at the moment, I think.
yeah. I
Um,
think that and Dead. I think that Resident Evil 4. I wouldn't say the Village DLC because that's DLC, and Dead Space are like on my watch list. Um, like excited for list. If we're on the horror. Um,
I
worst.
don't know if it's technically classed as a horror, but I'll always have a great love for the Tomb Raider trilogy. You know, the
That's
Tomb
not
Raider,
horror.
yeah, Tomb Raider's
But
got some horror. It's got the same with
especially
the Uncharted stuff.
especially the newest one. The well, it's an older one now, but is it Rise of the Tomb Raider, the
Yeah,
technically newest
the
one?
newest one. Mhm.
That one is more horror than anything else. It's got those horrible little jump scary
Uh,
creatures.
Yeah,
see,
like you fight a T
uh,
Rex in one of them, and it comes out with the darkness, and it was one of the
Oh
first
no,
times anything that's ever been done, and you feel your controller vibrating, and that's horrifying back in those days.
oh that's going back
Um,
to like original Tomb Raider, isn't it?
yeah.
Ah, yes.
that's just one like horror game. No, I've watched the anime of it. It's the Demon Slayers game.
I've never
I've,
seen Demon Slayer. It's been very much recommended to me, but I've never actually watched any
yeah,
Demon
I
Slayer.
watch it. It is really good.
there've not really been any horror games of it though. There've been a 1v1 fighting game of it.
Uh,
Um, if we're gonna go the route of worst horror game, um, and because it tried to become a survival horror game, I think Lewis, you know what game I'm gonna say. Metal Gear Survive. Worst 30 quid I spent.
I've never personally played it, but a horror game that I think I'm not as good as it sounds is 7 Days to Die.
I mean,
mm,
yeah, that can be quite. I've played it, and it can be quite tedious. Especially when it's like every 7th day is Horde night, and like your base that you've spent so long building, repairing, gets just demolished within seconds. Um,
I don't know what
I mean,
would be
if I'm
mine.
going with favorite would have to be the Dead Rising series. If I had to be favorite, um, like
You don't
story or
have to.
not. Well, I mean, story or
You're the one
not.
that sets the parameters of the question.
I set the parameters as any game, but we're all going horror theme, so okay.
Um, the Dead Rising series only have three good games. It has Dead Rising 1, Dead Rising 2, and Dead Rising 2 off the record.
Mhm.
The Dead Rising
3,
3 is passable.
yeah,
4 was just terrible.
yeah.
You know, whether Dead Space 1 was amazing, 2 was fantastic, 3 was a bit shit. The Wii one, Extraction, was fantastic.
The rail shooter, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the Wii. The Wii.
We. To be fair, there's a lot. Like there's a lot of good, not even horror games, but there's a lot of good games on the Wii. And
There
like
was
the
a
big one being Mad World.
Top Mad World
there,
was great.
there was a game that I played on the Wii that I really want them to bring out in the PlayStation, and it was the Rayman Raven Rabbits. Uh, Jan game.
I'm pretty sure they are working on another Rabbits game, but I'm not sure.
It's a Mario
No,
one.
but
Sparks of Hope.
no,
No,
but It
No,
has
but
to be
like
the.
a
I
proper
love.
Rabbids game, not a Mario. Although apparently Rayman's coming to it.
Yeah,
Sponsored.
yeah,
I
Rayman's getting a
I
thing for it.
because that is how I spent most like my like I would probably say my early teens, and that just playing Rayman Raving Rabbits. It was funny as on
That
because you
shit
could
was
pick
funny.
up the rabbits and throw them.
Oh, we played. What one did we have? It was like the party game version where it was like mini games.
Uh,
And I just
Yeah, we
remember
had
like
Rayman. Yeah,
I just remember like doing the freaking one of the features like being on the phone and trying to put it down fast as you can.
was
And I
that not
just
on the Wii? Did we not have that on the Wii? Because I
yeah
remember the big rail shooter sequences on it. Yeah,
yeah.
even Rayman in itself, Rayman's just disappeared completely. Horror game most looking forward to. Probably Callisto Protocol in a way. Um, I would say Dead Space, but the thing is, I know what to expect from Dead Space.
Yeah,
I know what to
like
expect from Resident Evil 4. I have no idea what to expect from Callisto Protocol.
especially since
Brand
it's
new
been
and brand new everything. It
made by the original Dead Space developer.
yep.
So it's like,
Apparently there's an achievement to die in every different way.
why am I not surprised? I mean, they like of the trailers I've seen, they wanted you to see the gore and the horror in that character's eyes whenever they died.
Oh yeah.
But they've done that with every like with Dead Space. They like especially with 2 when Isaac had like you could see Isaac's face like as he
It
had his
helps kind
arm
of.
like ripped off and all that. Like especially in what was it? Like I've discovered this by accident, but you know the final boss fight in Dead Space 2?
Yep, the
If you
brain thing.
Yeah, if you get too close to your remember Fox download device, and yeah, I know. Um, oh well. Um, like the if you got too close to the vision of his wife, it would like have this cutscene where she's like screaming into your like face, come
And
back
your
out of
head
the brain.
explodes.
Well, no, come back out your brain, and then she like controlling your Isaac's body, points the nail gun to the
The
head
gun
and
is himself.
shoots.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
fuck. Like
Yeah,
that. Like
I did that when me and Ren were playing through it.
I did not know
Yeah.
that was a thing until like I
Did you
died
not?
by it. No, I just thought yeah that was the like the shooter, and then I accidentally bumped into her, then died by her. I'm like, huh. Well, it is a bitch.
Uh, um, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Uh, Resident Evil 4, I know what to expect from it. Um, Dead Space, know what
Hmm.
to expect from it. Callisto Protocol, brand new territory. Brand new territory. Uh,
It's the same with Silent Hill too, isn't it? Like you just know you
I
know
know,
how.
yeah, I know the story. I know how it supposedly ends, but whether they go down that route or not, we'll have to wait and see. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Callisto Protocol. I don't think I'll get it straight away because money is a bit tight at the moment, but
And Christmas.
Christmas is coming. Um, but a horror franchise, actually, I've just remembered talking about Resident Evil, that needs an honorable mention is Dino Crisis. Dino Crisis 2 was brilliant. Loved every second of it. Dino Crisis 1 was horrifying. It was Resident Evil with dinosaurs. And people were so excited when they
When they
seen
saw Exoprimal
Lost
and
Planet 2 with dinosaurs. Because that's basically what that
oh,
new game is.
weird.
It's
Although
Lost Planet,
I've watched Max play it though, and I'm like, this looks fun though. I'm
but
like,
it's not what we
it's
wanted.
not what I wanted. Although in breaking news, Sony looks to be teasing something with Bloodborne.
So yes, that is the thing. Apparently, rumor has it that Bloodborne is getting a remake. Yeah,
That
not a sequel, a remake is the supposed rumor that's being pushed out there. Apparently, the guy who made Bloodborne, said that he'd be more than happy to do a sequel if Sony lets him.
Mhm.
The ball's in Sony's court.
I mean, it's the same with Obsidian. They like people keep asking about Fallout New Vegas 2, and Obsidian's like, if Bethesda
We'll do it.
okays it, yeah, if Bethesda okays it. I
That's the
suppose
thing. Fallout. There's moments in Fallout that are terrifying. You go through some of them vaults. Like I was like, I'm a bit scared. I want to leave now. I'm a little baby boy.
and then going through the highway of death with claws.
Hmm.
And another as well, like talking of other games, Evil Dead Hail to the King update is coming out October 27th. But supposedly there's going to be another update tomorrow, which gives people who own the new Savani t-shirts, because I got mine in the mail today. The Savani Ash Army of Darkness skin. But I'm looking through the deals, what's coming in DLC, and I'm actually a tad disappointed. They've only announced the blacksmith is a new character, a new single-player mission where you play as Henry the Red, defending Castle Kundar, a Halloween-themed Ash Army of Darkness skin, and then I don't know if they're adding more, but this is all I've seen. 3 more skins for Army of Darkness Ash, Henry the Red, and Lord Arthur.
Well, the thing
like,
is, I don't think it was as successful as they thought it was going to be, and they already said that they were going to do a Game Pass, so they need to bring out some sort of content. The game itself is fun at times, but it's also, when we were playing it on stream, it was very frustrating with some of the aspects of it. Like we were getting just unlocked by that skeleton over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, I was having a discussion before with people, but I feel like, and because this is just me thinking, with obviously the new Ghostbusters game came out, which is a lot of fun, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen you've been playing that one.
It's actually quite fun. That's the problem with the 1v4 style games. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Like Dead by Daylight.
So is all that stuff, is that coming part of the
That's part of
season
season
pass?
1. Yeah.
Awesome. Get me myself free shit.
So, like Dead by Daylight, it's, while I enjoy it, it's getting stale. And I do keep coming back when the new chapters come out, but it keeps coming back to being stale. Because either, for me, especially as killer, it's too easy or far too hard to like even do anything. Friday the 13th again, 1v7 became, and I know because it's Jason, far too easy to kill and far too hard to get away. Like, once you were caught, that was it. Prayer Hunting Ground had that problem of just being like, it got repetitive. Like, games like that need more like variety in them, otherwise it's going to get far too stale far too quick. And I have heard that there are Saber who made Evil Dead are looking into or wanting feedback and might consider putting in a new game modes, like horde mode, where you like defend. Well, this is just a thought. Like defend like the Nobi cabin or like Castle Kondar against an unending army of darkness.
I don't know.
But they just need.
I think it was a good concept.
And it worked.
Just need to be refined a wee bit.
And it worked. Like weirdly, like with how it did. But yeah, like how it got pulled off felt like, oh, this is actually quite fun. But then like people played it more, people leveled up their characters more, and then it
That's the thing. I'm gonna come
started
back
to become
for the new
one-sided.
DLC stuff, and then like I'll be level 1, and everyone's like 27 or something. 206.
Well, level 1, and then you got level 25 hero survivors or level 45 demon. So, and probably, and when I ever play like whenever I do play like multiplayer properly, anyway, I always stick to I try to stick to my main character, who's level 25. But when I just play offline or like with against bots, against a bot, I play a different character to level them up and then get a feel for it. But they're adding prestige to the game, I remember.
It needs some sort of ranked mode. Yeah. Because currently there's no like ranked mode. You play, you have fun, but there's no like, oh, I'm like levels 2
Well,
in the
even
world's
then, it might
Ash or
be
something.
a reset to like level 25s, or like you can get something special for prestige. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what else to add on this. Wait, what is it?
You know what's terrifying?
What?
Bills. Hard work.
The worst of them all. Although,
Paying £5 for a subscription when you realize you've got Prime Gaming, and with Prime Gaming you can sub to somebody for free.
Why did I just zone back into this is an advert now?
Ran out of ideas and no one else was talking. I was about to say, Azrael, Disney Drill.
When I finish a long day of work, I like to sit down. What do I like to sit down with? You've guessed it, Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, God.
With over 7,000 different heroes, Raid Shadow Legends opens up variety.
Just when I was in my brain, I was thinking about.
Shut it until they start paying us.
Toffee's on his face.
Toffee's on his face.
Don't tell me to shut it.
No, I'm talking to Thingy.
So, I did think of something, and it was something I put in our group chat ages and ages ago. You might remember it was like similar to the Ghostbusters game that looked quite good. I remember seeing that. I never played it.
What, similar to the Ghostbuster game or something else?
Similar to the Ghostbuster game. It was a Steam game.
Yeah, I know what you're on about. The
It was a hide and seek sort of version, but it looked horror-ish, which looked quite good.
Yeah, the Haunt, Midnight Haunt. I know what you're on about, because it was like one team of 4 played as like a group of people trying to do a haunt, stop a haunt even.
He tricked you.
And
went up, right? Went round to your side of the bed. No, his.
I say the best horror film has to be First Class Trouble playing with Athena.
Film.
No.
I mean, First Class Trouble. I'll never forget. I'll never forget managing to get you to go into the shutter and boom, deed.
Aye, but playing with Athena, she is the most sneakiness of ears off.
I've still never forgiven you for that.
Oh, well, when I killed you with a shutter.
Yep.
But you blindly trusted me.
I'm still also mad at the one time where I was like thinking, and my teammate left the game, and I was just left on my own, and everyone like a multi-pack pack of Pepsi just stuck together. I even dragged Athena to literally say I'm fucked. I don't know what to do. I dragged her away to literally say I am absolutely fucked. Everyone's like close together. I am so fucked. I mean, because
how do you think I felt every time when I was the bloody android and I went to kill somebody? No one was near, and then I would be just about to stick the plunger thing in the neck, and everybody would come round the corner and see me.
I'm sorry, plunger thing.
Syringe.
Syringe, that's the word.
To be fair, I just found it funny how like we were all together and like the thing got sabotaged, and it was like, and then you Azrael were like nowhere near us, and we're like,
Alright.
It's like moments like that where you can just get caught out. It's just like, oh god.
I mean, the best one I'll think of would be for First Class Trouble was the chandelier incident.
That was hilarious.
That's all it's getting called now, is the chandelier incident.
What one?
There's only one, to be fair.
What?
No,
because I can remember the timing that I dropped the chandelier on folk, and I was the only one that wasn't away, everybody.
Oh, I don't know. I can't mind. Right. Well, anyone got anything else to add?
No.
One sec.
I think that's all we can really mention. I mean, like.
I think we've rattled through every horror game we could think of.
Oh, there's definitely a few that we've missed out, but we've kind of covered the main ones.
I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's.
But yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's and things like that. I'm trying to think of what's in my horror repertoire.
Phasmophobia would also be a very good. Was also
Soma.
a very good horror. So yeah.
Soma's a really good one.
Phasmophobia is a good one.
Fortnite Mails.
Horror games.
To be fair, right? The maps people make on Fortnite for Halloween, or just whenever, like the horror maps people make, are actually quite good. Someone recreated PT.
They're good, but there's also certain maps, and it's constantly that Ave Maria singing in your ear, and it gets annoying very quick.
What have you done? What have you done? Like games on VR, I think excel horror very well. Like Skyrim. I was playing Skyrim VR. You get up to the bit of the tower where the dragon pops his head through and breathes down the flames down the stairs. I screamed at that because it was right up in my face.
Honestly, I would have thought you meant the spider that jumps from the fucking ceiling and lands on your head.
I was fine with that because at that point I was used to the big things coming up in my face. But that's the first like enemy in your face. Like, VR makes some games that you wouldn't think is scary. Oh yeah, all the time. I just looked down.
I'm going very dated here, but do you remember the Spiderwick Chronicles movie?
Yes.
There was a PS2 game that came out for that, and I remember I could never play the ending because of the snake in it.
You would hate Resident Evil 1 then, because there's a gigantic snake you gotta fight in.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon me.
That's one you could technically class as a... I call it a light horror, is the Spiderwick Chronicles.
Ren, Spiderwick Chronicles, would you say that's a horror?
A light horror.
No, Spiderwick Chronicles fantasy/urban fantasy has got horror elements, especially in the book, but ultimately it's a fantasy.
She told. I mean,
thanks.
I mean, if we're on about
films, you have been schooled.
I mean, if we're on about horror films,
genre theory, that was my specialty at university.
No, no horror.
I mean, if we're talking about like horror films and icons, we forgot about Chucky.
Well, the TV show.
Well, just
again, the second season.
Yeah,
so it is. I've not seen it. I love the Chucky films. Fantastic. The Cult of Chucky was really good. I really want to see the TV show. I just don't have anything that's getting streamed on. But coming to like books and horror media, you know, Stephen King's made his whole career on writing horror and things. You know, got It, you've got The Mist, The Shining.
Yes. Oh, see The Shining. That is the thing that I absolutely thought was the funniest. That Stephen King made. He hated the film.
He hated.
He was very famous, Kubrick, for doing a tracking shot, which was
Ren's talking about things.
one of the first tracking shots not the first, but one of the first tracking shots, and it built suspense, and it is when the kid's on his bike, and it just tracks him, and it makes you feel that he's being followed by something. It's a great shot.
Yes, but Stephen King hated the Shining film. He liked Doctor Sleep, and Doctor Sleep actually they combined the elements of the books, because the ending of the film and the ending of the book is completely different in The Shining. I only watched The Shining for the first time last year, and I was actually pleasantly surprised at how good it was. I knew it was going to be a good film. It's a cult classic, but yeah, Jack Nicholson's performance is really great, and now I get all the references properly. You know, like the Simpsons one. Well, it's the Simpsons one. It's like
no
TV, no
beer makes
Homer a something something. Go crazy. Don't mind if I do. That gets me so hard.
I did a low budget Shining video at university when I was in year 2, and it was fantastic.
Even like horror comics, I'm a big fan of manga and comics and anime. You know, Parasite the Maximum is a great horror anime. Berserk, talk about Berserk all day. Junji Ito.
It's a horror anime?
Berserk is a dark fantasy horror based. Yeah, some elements in Berserk are absolutely terrifying. But Junji Ito, his stuff horrifies me to the point I will not buy his manga. I do not want it in my house. I've picked up Uzumaki many times, thought I really want to read this. It's a really interesting story. I want to read it. I turn to one of the pages that I know it's like this guy, he's still alive, but he's twisted himself into a spiral. And it just scares the living shit out of me. I do not want it in the house. And Ren may laugh, but she knows that that I freak out at his stuff. His stuff is amazing. And it was a real shame because he was supposed to be so it was Guillermo del Toro, Junji Ito, and Kojima that were all on board for Silent Hills. And
yeah,
I mean, if you said Project F was getting done by Junji Ito, I would be, yes, let's go. More so than the guy that is at the moment. But he's a fantastic horror writer, him, and a very good artist. This stuff is just horrifying. See, I turned it into games. I brought it back to the game topic of horror.
I mean, the maker of Berserk was like the sole inspiration of Dark Souls.
Yes, so Berserk has inspired a lot. Dragon's Dogma, there's a lot of inspiration from Berserk and Dragon's Dogma. Dark Souls was huge. But Miyazaki takes a lot of things from various written elements. Bloodborne is a love letter to H.P. Lovecraft and his stuff, Shadow over Innsmouth, Call of Cthulhu. Which is another thing I need to kind of really sit down and read.
Very excited that they're making the Dragon's Dogma 2 after so many years.
Dragon's Dogma. But yeah, Berserk had a huge impact on a lot of media. A lot more than people think.
Yeah. Right. We think about ending it here then. We've been going at it for 2 hours and 18 minutes.
Fucking hell.
I can talk a lot.
You really can.
I'm a big chatterbox.
Well, you're the go-to guy I know for like board games.
Oh yeah.
Horror.
Oh, I could talk about board games. Yeah, like if we want to talk about more horror stuff, board game horror. There's some great stuff. D&D is a great kind of avenue for like tabletop horror as well, creating elements Strad. But even
Ravenloft.
board games, Betrayal and House on the Hill, where it's like everyone's playing, we're all friends, and then suddenly something happens, and then one of the guys is like a vampire or something, and you're like, oh, is it going to be me?
I so fucking love the Green Game Grumps
Anything in Ravenloft.
tabletop, the thing they did.
Comes from Ravenloft.
Yeah, they stopped doing all that. I was thinking about this the other day, to go on another tangent here, as I always do. I've been watching a lot of Two Best Friends play, especially on the run-up to horror. They did the Shitstorm of Scary every year, and they loved their survival horror games. But then they broke up, and they're all doing their separate things. And it was at that time that Game Grumps also went in a bit of a decline. They stopped doing their table time show. They stopped doing Steam Train. Barry left the channel and things like that. That era was the good era of YouTube, in my opinion, and I miss it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love a good horror board. I've got the Dark Souls board game. I've got the Bloodborne board game. Elden Ring's coming. Elden Ring's coming in November.
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry. You can't really count. Do you count Devil May Cry as a horror? It's more of an action adventure. The first one can be. I suppose I was very little when I played the first one, but parts of the first one were quite scary.
Well, I mean,
in
yeah,
my
I mean,
opinion.
a gigantic fucking fiery spider chasing you down a tarantula even chasing you down a hallway, shooting fireballs at you is terrifying. And then the
Take you
little
by-
thing called Nightmare, when you had to fight like that bastard.
See, if you want to see something nightmarish, check your Snapchat.
Oh, God. If it's a fucking spider, I will.
Not a chance in hell am I taking you up to Glasgow with that. I will take a pair of scissors to it.
That's the thing. What, like, I know, Storm and Ezra, you're going out to Glasgow to like dressing up and all that. What is everyone actually doing for Halloween?
Nothing. I'm dressing my son up as a pumpkin. Actually, I'm going to the opticians on Halloween to get my eyes checked. My son's actually going to a Halloween party thing, isn't he? New music. I used to go out every year for Halloween at our local bar in Lockerbie, and it would be alright. We could laugh.
One
I
time
don't know.
more
Unless you're specifically going to an event, or if you're going to a party. Glasgow. Speaking of Glasgow like do the horror cons and things like that, or some of the cinemas tend to show The Shining. People will go dressed up as Shining characters.
I went to see Psycho 2
Or
years
Psycho,
ago.
yeah. That's another good one.
We've been out in Glasgow once before for Halloween, but it didn't go as planned. We chose the wrong
Yeah.
weekend. Nobody else was dressed up.
Yeah, he's gonna
I know I had a
dress
friend of mine
as
who wanted to do an
pumpkin.
Among Us like movie night, like everyone dressed up as like Among Us characters.
Amogus.
As we know, I'm not doing anything for it, but I'm still going like. I know there's I think Shiny Cat's doing a podcast that day, but I'm not entirely sure. Or like with everyone
On actual
camera.
Halloween, I'm working.
I'm off
Yeah,
that day.
Halloween's a Monday.
No, I'm off for that week.
I've taken the day off because I like Halloween. I love dressing up. I love going to cons. I've been to a Comic-Con this year.
Wanted to go, but didn't have the money.
And got some set up for next year, hopefully.
I'm just sitting here with this mask on and the gloves. It's quite cool because it's like extended fingers.
I'm playing League of Legends.
You winning?
Yes, actually.
I'm still haven't got a fucking clue what I was doing. What I was doing in that game that we played. I'm like, I'm just pressing button. I'm pressing buttons. Like, I'm just putting units down and hope for the best, and I fucking died first.
That's what you're doing, isn't it? That's what you do when you
Oh
start
my
ending the
god.
game.
Within a game that Fox is not good at.
Oh, there's a lot of games he's not got at.
We don't talk about Halo Wars.
We always talk about Halo Wars. Where's the Halo Wars podcast? Let's discuss each unit in detail and their lore implements to the story.
No,
Where's the Spirit
no,
of Fire
no,
in Halo Infinite?
No, we don't talk about Halo since they stole the guy from Fortnite.
It's the guy from Fortnite. Oh, Denny. I have there's two nightmares I have about my son. First one is he sees somebody and he goes, oh, "That's the guy from Fortnite," like Naruto or something. And number two is that he's not into board games and he's really into sports. Those are my two biggest nightmares.
Oh god. Oh my god, I could just imagine it. You go and you're like, I disown you for not liking D&D.
What do you mean you don't want to play Monopoly? You want to play football?
Oh my god.
God, can you imagine
Although-
it? It goes and hands you a letter to Santa, and it's got all like, he wants a rugby ball, American football, friggin' football.
What do you mean you're being invited to an orgy of all girls? It's D&D night! Tell them no!
For fuck's sake.
There's a Fortnite tournament on, and I need a dub. I need a teammate. Get your ass up the stairs, put down that football, and get up the stairs and log on Fortnite now.
I mean, I'm more worried with day I have a wine because I've already got myself a bit of a royalty complex. God, what I'd pass on to a wine.
Oh God, that Wayne is going to be obsessed with the color purple.
Purple? Where?
God help the psychiatrist for the treats my Wayne.
God's sake.
You're having fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yes, I am. I have
I
long fingers.
I mean, I am, because it's like, we extended it. We extended the podcast by another, 15 minutes.
Woo!
It's like every anime and manga ever. Like, what was
Just
it?
gotta scream for 10 seconds. Yeah.
What was
And then in the next episode, you have 5 minutes that recaps the previous episode.
I was gonna say, what was it that's a Jin Toki anime? That's Shonen Jump. Described it in its whole, in wholeness, what happens if, the anime, why they do fillers and all that, and what happens if they don't do the filler or do it wrong. Which was quite funny. And at the end of it, he's like, which means, and just zooms into him, he's like, and just keeps on saying it, and then just looks at his watch, we have achieved 4 minutes extra.
It's hard because they have to go by the pace of the manga writer. So if the manga writer goes on hiatus or takes a break for a bit, but the anime keeps on going and they've used up all the material, it can be, especially with some so for One Piece did this where they would animate a chapter and a half, but by doing so they caught up with the manga writer to the point where they were doing maybe a third of a chapter an episode because they had to fill it out with prolonged fight scenes or, like I said, doing a recap which took about half the episode's runtime.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Right.
Ridiculous.
I think that will be a closing point there. So,
Next podcast, anime only. Talk about One Piece.
Right, is it One Piece? No, actually,
oh my God.
hentai.
No, One Piece is not hentai.
Right. Hey. None of that.
We're talking about One Piece now.
TOS.
One Piece is not hentai.
Who said it was?
One of Todd's
Ezreal.
friends. One Piece is a shonen manga created by what's his name? He's a god. Oda, who helped actually pen and some of Kenshin. One Piece has been going on for over 1,000 chapters. But fun fact, there is more.
Oh, here we go.
There's more volumes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure than there is of One Piece. There you go.
Right. Good. Right. So.
I like One Piece. I got the
Oh, I
lush
know.
bath bombs.
Oh God.
It's great.
Right. Well, we're gonna end it on there. To be fair, next month you did say anime, and I'm like generally tempted to like next month. Next month I'm just like
It's
To be fair,
November next month.
yeah. So to
It's
be fair,
Movember.
yeah.
I'm
Next month,
screwed if you do that next month, because the only anime that I know about is Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's nothing to be ashamed of.
To be fair, I think next month I'm just gonna have no topic, like no like headlining topic, and just shoot the works. So if anime gets mentioned and we talk about anime for the whole thing, I don't I don't mind. Like if we switch from
He doesn't give a Tohoku.
My Hero Academia.
What's wrong with My Hero Academia?
God, if that gets
so
mentioned,
good.
So good.
you know they never.
I renewed my subscription for Crunchyroll just so I could watch My Academia again.
Talk to Athena. Athena can send you like the entirety of My Hero Academia for free.
Well, the brand new series that's just coming out right now.
Okay, maybe not that.
Yeah.
But
then I found out Gundam, the Gundam series, in a combination of both Crunchyroll and Funimation, I can watch the original trilogy of Gundam. Mobile Suit, Zeta, Double Zeta. It's awesome. Also, Chainsaw Man has just started on Crunchyroll, so there's a lot of good anime that is just starting up. And that should take me up to December when we get JoJo Part 6, the final, from fucking Netflix.
Oh.
Anyway, next time.
Yeah, I mean, by then Gundam Evil will be out.
Due to a baby in January and waiting on a pin in the summer terminal.
Yes. Book in next month for a 5-hour long podcast. Just about anime.
Where half of it is literally a freaking not plot, filler episode. Nah, next podcast is probably just gonna be like see who's available and just talk what we want. It most likely, I know, Storm, you hate the idea of being on Fortnite again, but it most likely will be on Fortnite.
It's not that I hate the idea, it's just I like a bit of change now and again.
I know, I'll
just
cheat.
over Discord.
Yeah. But I need to figure out streaming.
Webcams.
And
Discord.
Hey, anyway.
Just make a chat room.
Yeah, but how, like, sending it to Twitch kind of thing. I need to work that out. That's why I don't do it like that.
I lost my fucking glove.
Right, so this has been
Got it.
Sky Fox with Azure Blade, Stormheart, Lewis and Ren. Azure Blade streams where do we find you again? It's Azure Blade 666 on twitch.tv, isn't it?
Yeah.
Azure
Blade.
Yeah. Storm doesn't stream right now. He's wanting to, but yeah. And Lewis and Ren stream like
occasionally.
No, I'm trying to think what you stream. So now you stream Gundam.
Just everything.
Gundam. Well, yeah, he just streams everything.
I just stream everything.
They did some Sims, which I've been told I'm not allowed to do one thing with the vampires because that would be plagiarizing of Ren's vampirism. Vampires.
What are we not allowed to do with the vampires?
Banks.
The blood bank.
Make a blood bank.
I'm sorry, blood bank?
Ren's got a blood bank in her streams for vampires.
That's one thing I quite need
Did
to
you
say.
say to Todd he's not allowed to do the blood bank?
No, we made a joke. We've been making it a joke.
Oh.
That's just one quick thing I need to call out, folks. Change that walk on that scary Sims.
No.
Ah!
You fucked it up before, and
I forgot it was there.
You have to live with it now.
Ugh.
So yeah, Lewis and Ren at twitch.tv Lewis and Ren, twitch.tv Stormheart22, twitch.tv's Azure 666, and
Don't let them escape in the basement.
this
Ren
has
talk
been
about our
yeah.
blood banks escaping in the basement. Yeah. Standard stuff.
Bet you can't
Wild
wait for Sims
Friday
5.
night.
That's gonna be like a good few years away, but we've have an online co-op mode apparently.
Well, the thing is, so I've got a fancy laptop, which is great for everything at the moment. And playing The Sims on the laptop is a lot better because you add mods and things like that. But Ren has spent, and we calculated this, over £200 on The Sims 4 packs on the PlayStation, which we can't transfer through to the laptop. So with Sims 5, she can now play it on the laptop when the new one comes out.
And it's cross-platform.
Oh, it's cross-platform. It's cross-platform.
Apparently.
Apparently it's cross-platform.
I need a new laptop. I got the blue
Sims 5.
screen of death.
Yeah, mine's been crashing lately, so I'm looking at getting a brand new one. But I don't know if I'm just
I'm on mine all the time.
I don't know if I'm just gonna
These days.
just get rid of the laptop and then get 2 monitors, but I don't want to. Well,
Then don't get to if you don't want to.
No, it's
I don't want to.
No, it's the case of because obviously I got not expensive, but TV. I don't want to move the TV, so I'll probably just get a laptop. That's why I'm not on my PC as much. It's just because when it comes to that, I will get the monitors. And all that. But yeah, so this has been the Fox Den episode 4, spooky edition. And we are going to, on Twitch, raid over to Shiny Cat, who's currently streaming some Dead by Daylight.
I need to learn how to raid. That's one of my issues.
If you go on your lap, I'll show you.
Yeah, it'll be on my laptop and things, so it won't be on my phone.
Yeah. So, we're going to...
Bye, everyone!
Bye!
Bye-bye.
Cheerio, people. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Pretty sure I did it.
Right!
Yep.
That's right.
I might have raided